Hey everyone, and welcome to the NintendoFuse Podcast. This is episode 295, and on this episode, we're going to be talking all about the recent Nintendo Direct and the Eastasiasoft Summer 2024 Showcase, the Yacht Club Games Presents that happened back in June, and a lot of other headlines coming your way. My name is Steve, and of course, I am joined by Barry and Greg. Barry, how you doing, man?
Yeah, doing great. It's been a busy couple weeks.
It has been. And Greg, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. It's great to be live again too. So I know we've had a number of pre-recorded episodes the last few.
Yeah, we've had. Thanks for bearing with us. If you guys have been listening in, watching the last few episodes, we've had to pre-record several of them. And a little programming note: this will be our last podcast for a month. We're going to be back with our next live recording, next live podcast. We'll be happening on August 13th. So we're recording this on live on July 2nd, 2024, and we're going to be back on August 13th. We're just going to take a quick summer break. Especially after all the craziness that happened around this non E3 time. But we had a lot of E3 related things that just weren't here for E3. So we're going to get into all of that pretty soon, along with, yes, Jakester recognized I'm wearing my Super Nintendo World shirt, so I did get to go there, and also got to check out the Play Nintendo tour. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but if you are joining us for the first time, thanks so much for being here, and we'd love for you to hit that subscribe button on wherever you're listening or watching. We are streaming live right now on YouTube and Twitch. And also, we're trying out Twitter or X, depending on what you want to call it. We're trying that out for this episode. So let us know what you think. If you want us to keep going live over on Twitter X, then let us know. If it's something you don't really care about, let us know that too. We're just going to try out different things and want to go where you are. Make it easier for you guys to catch us live. But if you're listening after the fact, you're watching after the fact, we love that you guys are here as well. Be sure to also follow us on Twitter. If you have not followed us over there, it's at NintendoFuse. And while you're at it, jump over on Discord. We have a growing community over there that we love interacting with you guys in between the shows. It'd be a great place to connect with all of us and our amazing community there between this show and our next show, which is a month away. But yeah, the link is on the screen, but also in the show notes and the podcast description and the YouTube description as well. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going to hop into, as we always do, what we've been playing, and then we'll jump into all the news because there's a lot. But let's hop over into what we've been playing, and we'll go to Greg first.
Yeah, so this time is my list is a little bit lower, but it's definitely very highly focused because I was only around like chapter 2, I think, of Paper Mario 64. So I actually just beat the game, I think, just this past Friday. So like I finally beat Bowser at the very end of the game, and it was my first time actually completing the game all the way through because I had started a few times on the previous system's virtual consoles, but there were some issues and just lack of desire to continue on with through the entire game due to the issues that happened with like my console getting stolen and other things going on of that nature where I didn't really want to like restart the save files and whatnot. So it was an incredible game, and I could definitely see a lot of the inspiration where they picked off from Super Mario RPG, which I also did play the remake on Switch. So it was great to see that a lot of those similar elements are kind of shared across both of those two series, and kind of where Paper Mario really got the kickstart to be such a great, was a former great series. I don't know how much people would still say it's a pretty highly good series today, given the last 2 or 3 entries aren't typically what they're known for. It's usually the first 3. So yeah, it was great to finally finish that off there, and then I did finally load in Thousand Year Old Door for the very first time. So this is my first time actually playing the game. I didn't play it on GameCube, even though I did have the player's guide version of the game. I just never really got around to putting in my like Wii console or GameCube just to play through it. So yeah, so I haven't gotten very far. I'm still like in the initial Rogueport town, and so far I'm just enjoying seeing like all the high quality paper visuals and seeing all the great Paper Mario humor that usually see in these games. So still very early on, but still been pretty fun so far from what I've played in the first like hour or so. And then pretty much still on the mobile devices, still doing like the Roblox games with my daughter, and then still doing Simpsons Tapped Out. They have like another like a summer content update that's like 5 weeks long or whatever, and unlocking more characters and all that kind of fun stuff. So, yep, it's just been pretty busy, but pretty focused on the ones that I have been playing.
Cool. Looking at the chat, it looks like Jakester has said he's at the end of Paper Mario 2 and planning to finish it next week. Did a little bit of Fire Emblem Engage and more Pokemon Sleep and Pikmin Bloom. Glad you're getting some good sleep there, Jakester. And just finished the cheese event in Pikmin Bloom and started the coral. I don't understand these things anymore. Am I getting that old? Like where I'm like, this doesn't even make sense.
Get your cane out, you whippersnapper.
You play games by sleeping and you beat cheese events. I don't even get it. So anyway, Barry, what have you been playing lately?
Yeah, so it's been a busy couple weeks. This is like insanity season for me. Like I do not recommend anyone be like me, which is have a broad selection of games you enjoy, because they all seem to like drop at once. So I'm still doing on the Switch, still doing Pokemon Unite daily. I've been doing Star Wars Hunters daily. I'm really enjoying Star Wars Hunters. They're constantly new events, almost like every other day. And they're very like easy. Like you could do multiple events at the same time, and it's a lot of fun. And I have one character left to unlock. I haven't spent anything outside of the battle pass. Like all the characters I've unlocked for free. I love that. And it didn't take me too long. And I like, when I say I play it daily, I mean I play like 5 to 6 matches at maximum 3 minutes a shot. Like I'm talking like 20 minutes a day. Like this is like nothing of time investment, and they're quick, they're snappy, they're in out. I'm just having a lot of fun with it. Right after the podcast that we recorded last time, but before the last one actually aired, Monster Hunter Stories came out finally on the Switch. I never got to play it on the 3DS despite wanting to. So I got all the way through. I got to the final boss. I did not beat the final boss. He got too annoying, and I ran out of time. But there were several times where I actually was almost ready to quit. Like this has some weird difficulty spikes that just pop up in there. But it was a lot of fun. I very much enjoyed it. And it was great to finally use those Japanese exclusive Monster Hunter Stories amiibo, because they never released them here. Even when the game came here on the 3DS, they never came here. And the Switch version uses those amiibo. So those even though they were only released in Japan, the Switch US Switch version does actually acknowledge them. And I do recommend it because you unlock some powerful monsters. So if you do have them. But yeah, so I played through that. Great RPG. Very, very much recommend it. But I ran out of time because another game came out. Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble came out. And a big Monkey Ball fan. I heard good things. I was really excited for this one. And I can contest. This is an amazing Monkey Ball. This is an amazing single-player Monkey Ball.
Man. Barry,
the multiplayer, I only
me
messed around. I only messed around with the race. There's no target. It's like a fight race. A couple other options. You can play with bots, or you can play online, or or locally. I did the race. It was okay. I mean, I think if you're with a group of people, they're fun, but they're not monkey target. However, the single player is fantastic. And there's 10 worlds of 10 levels each that very much get more difficult, and that beats the game. And you're like, I beat the game. But then you unlock the EX worlds, which is what Monkey Ball is known for. And each world has EX levels. So there's 100 EX levels, and this is the same level but harder. These are brand new, completely original levels. So it's 200 levels. I'm gonna say about 194 of them legit. I beat an additional three or four of them. You could use a helper function, so you don't get like your time, but it allows you to like rewind, and it shows you the path. And I did that for a few of them, and the last few I just flat out skipped. I was like, all right, this is just starting to frustrate me. but it is good. So if you enjoyed Monkey Ball 1 and 2, Monkey Ball single player, and you're jiving for that again, yes, absolutely, highly recommend this game. Had a blast through it, and I'm very much glad I got through it. And maybe I'll go back and try and finish those last few levels that I skipped, but I don't know, because another game came out. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD came out, so I started playing that. I'm at the end of the second mansion. I'm playing only like a mission a day. I originally didn't like the mission structure on the 3DS, and I never finished it. But now, having a kid, having life, I kind of like it because it allows me to like jump in at 20 minutes at a time and jump out. But it is fun. They did a good job. They actually allow you to invert your controls this time, unlike Luigi's Mansion 3 for the
Wow.
vacuum, which is great. However, it's still not perfect because it's based on whatever way you are facing. So if Luigi is facing away from you, right is right, left is left. But if Luigi is facing towards you, right is now his right, so it's left, and it's left is now his left, so it's
They
right.
flip it?
So it flips as Luigi's move. So right is always right, regardless of whichever way he's facing. It's Luigi's right. And if you invert it, all it does is flip that. So like I wish it auto inverted like when Luigi was facing you and went back. So it's still a mess in terms of that. They can't just leave it simple. But it's still a good time. So if you enjoy Luigi's Mansion, definitely check this out. I'm still sour that it didn't include the first game, and I still think it's a missed opportunity to call it Luigi's Mansion 2 : Dark Moon, because now there's two names in America for the same game, and that's stupid as hell. I'm sorry. That's bad, Nintendo. I've also played a game called Saturn DX, which we will be doing a review on in a bit. It's an arcade style game. And then another game called Dark Star 1, Nintendo Switch Edition, is an old PC flight sim RPG that messing around with. And a game that I actually played for another podcast that I'm going to be recording this weekend, Inside. I never played Inside. I played Limbo. Finally played Inside. Inside is a very weird game. It is short, but it is weird, and it left me scratching my head and annoyed afterwards because I paid $20 for this digitally because there's no physical. And then it went on sale for $1.99 right after. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh no. I was starting to say, it was like I either got it for free or I bought it really cheap, and like that's too bad.
Yeah,
I
well,
wish there
I had
was
to do
some
it
sort of like price guarantee or something
Yeah,
like that.
that kind of sucks, but I did it for a podcast, so I played through. I did enjoy it, but it definitely left me like, let me watch a video to explain some of the stuff because there's a lot of weird stuff in that game. But again, Luigi's Mansion 2, one of the other reasons I'm not finished with it yet, is because another game came out, Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail. It officially launches today, but I had early access since Friday, so I've been slowly working my way through that because it's an MMO. But I only get to do story with my wife, so we only get to play together when the little one is sleeping. So we've been up till like 2 o'clock in the morning every night trying to get some time in. So I'm outpacing the story quest. I'm at the level 93 stuff. But I'm already level 96. So I'm like, oh man, I'm blasting through this. XP is so easy in that game. But it's slow burn. I see a lot of people complaining because it's a slow burn because it's a brand new arc. And new arcs require world building and setup, and it seems a lot of people nowadays are just impatient. They want constant action all the time, and it's like, no, you need those valleys to appreciate the hills. You need that. That's storytelling.
Back in my day.
But I very much enjoy it. I haven't really messed around with the new jobs, but it's gotten me back in 14 way more than I have been lately. I've just been doing the daily stuff or at least catch ups. But now like everyone's back and there's login queues and it's fun again. Mobile, still doing Mario Kart Tour and Legend of Heroes Northern War, although I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be Northern War. It's more of a put on for an hour to get points and then turn off, and it's no longer. It's definitely hitting that paywall where they shove those $40, only $40. Get that? No, go away.
Yeah, at least you can play Final Fantasy 14. And Square doesn't hate you. I guess you're giving them money. I'm trying to actually get my full demo. That's what I'm trying to
The
do, and
free
it's
trial.
like, yeah,
Yeah, that's so weird that they did that to you. Don't understand why.
yeah, doesn't make sense at all. But yeah, I've been playing Saturn DX as well. I will say I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would.
That's good.
But
It feels like one of your games because it's a twin
it
stick
did,
style.
and that's when I saw it come through, like the press release and everything. I was like, you know what, like maybe this is this is for me. And then all of a sudden, like I was like, I don't know. And then yeah, playing it, I was like, oh, this is actually more enjoyable than I thought. It's got some quirky things, but we'll talk about that on our game chat. So a little tease there. I also played a game called Doug's Nightmare, which we've talked about, I think, on previous episodes as well. You play this this banana who is going through a weird nightmare thing, and it's also a twin stick shooter, but it's weird, and I kind of got bored with it. I don't
Oh,
know.
wow.
Like I was going through stage after stage after stage, and it's basically it's like this top down thing, and you just see like enemy after enemy. It's like waves of enemy. You clear that out, and then you move on to the next thing, and that's it. And then eventually you face a boss, and cool, you get some stuff, and then that's it. So I don't really know. So for those of you that are watching the video version, you're probably wondering where Greg went. He's having some video issues right now, so we'll just keep on going, and eventually Greg hopefully will join us back again after he gets his video stuff figured out. But yeah, played that. It's weird. Also played Star Wars Hunters finally.
How are you liking
Booted
it?
that up. I like it, except for here's the thing, like apart from the free to play stuff that's everywhere in that game. Like you can buy everything, and like you said, you can make your
Yep.
way through a lot of stuff without spending money. Similar to
Yep.
Rocket League, similar to Fortnite, all these different
Yep.
games that are like that. But it is in your face though. Like you
Oh,
are
yeah.
surrounded with it. But what I don't like is when you're starting up the game like this. Like they force you to do certain things. And I'm like, I just want to explore the rest of the menu to see what this game is all about. Why are you sending me right into another battle? I don't want to play another battle yet, but I can't do anything until you get through the four or five battles in the very
Yeah,
beginning. It
those
just forces you to
tutorials.
do it over and over and over again. And I keep dominating, and I'm like
No,
beating
it's
everybody
because
I'm
those are
playing.
tutorials. Those are bots. Like
Yeah.
they're not real battles.
Right. And I'm like, this is dumb. Like, keep me moving on. And so luckily they're short, but I was slightly annoyed that it kept forcing me into stuff like that.
But once you get past that,
Right. That's all I'm saying is the very beginning of the game. So more of a warning to people, just like, stick with it. It eventually that goes away. But in the very beginning, you're not going to be able to jump in and do whatever you want in the beginning. You're going to have to go through their process of getting you into the game. So, but after that, it was fun. I realized that playing as a Jedi and stuff like that is just with a lightsaber is not very fun. I need a blaster, and I want to shoot things from far away. And, and so it's like, yep, not going to play as a Jedi with just a lightsaber here. I'm going to be shooting things from distance.
I agree with you there. The blaster feels fun, but what I like about the Jedi characters is Jedi the robot has the reach, so you can grab someone, pull them close to you, and then attack.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Reeve the Sith has that jump, so you literally just jump right on top of them, and then bottom rush from. Plus, she throws her saber, so you do have a ranged attack.
Yeah. That's true, and it's cool. I think I just realized that I don't like brawler characters. I'm like I want a shooter character, which is great.
There's
you have a lot of different options there. Yeah, so that's really cool.
They're creative, like the two Jawas standing on top of each other.
Yeah.
Like that's really neat.
It's really funny. I was like, really, Jawas? That's what we're gonna like. Okay, that's
but
creative.
They work. And when they die, they drop a bomb. So if you kill them and you're not paying attention, you can die to their bomb after they're dead.
Nice. I'm on the fence whether I'm going to spend money on the pass thing yet, because I do want the Mandalorian armor. I was like that character
fun.
looks pretty cool.
He's fun.
So,
I like the Mandalorian.
So Star Wars Hunters. Then I played some Rocket League, Pokemon Go. Played a lot of Pokemon Go as I was traveling. Got some spun some Pokestops when I was in Universal and Nintendo World. So that's fun. And then had to screenshot those and kind of little memory there. Clash Royale and all that stuff on mobile as well. But yeah, I did go to Nintendo World, so I thought I'd do a little show and tell. First, we could walk through some photos of the trip. Most of these things people have seen already, but I just thought it'd be fun to kind of show off some photos. So yeah, this is as you're coming down into Universal Studios. Like, there's 2 levels now within Universal Studios Hollywood. And so, like, you're coming down a series of 4 escalators into the lower level, and this is what you see as you're coming in from the escalator. You see Mario Nintendo World from a distance, which is really cool. And then there's the entrance to it. You walk through the warp pipe, which is really cool. You kind of see it. It's coming and coming, so that it's getting exciting and more exciting as it's coming. You walk in, and like it's just as real as all the photos and videos that you've seen. Like, it looks like you're walking around in a Nintendo game, like an actual Mario Kart or Mario game. Bowser's Castle's back there with the Mario Kart ride and everything too. But yeah, it really feels like you're walking around. They did an amazing job with all of the art and the bricks and the designs and everything around the entire place. It's amazing. And so this is the cue for when you're waiting to go on the Mario Kart ride. And the Mario Kart ride was just ridiculous. Like, how much was going on. I feel like I need to ride it like at least 5 times, if not more, to catch everything that was going on. Shooting everything, the AR stuff works. It's really cool. And so most of these are like now going through the queue for the Mario Kart ride. And then we did get to eat at the Mushroom Cafe. I think it's Toadstool Cafe. So I got the Mario Burger, which everything is related to mushrooms there. And my wife and I are like not big fans of mushrooms at all. So that was fun. But we had to get in line to sign up for an RSVP earlier. And so I got the Mario Burger, which is basically just a bacon cheeseburger, but I just took the mushrooms off, so it was a piece of cake. And I got the little hat to keep. And then my wife got the soup. She actually got the tomato soup, but we got a picture of my friend's mushroom soup that he got, which actually has mushrooms like the little super mushrooms that are floating in it as well. And I didn't taste it, but apparently the mushroom soup doesn't really taste like mushroom at all. In fact, it's really good, I've heard. So I was still chicken to try it out, but apparently it tastes really good.
Mushrooms
And
are awesome.
yeah, I don't like them. But the tomato soup that she got tasted really good, but it basically tasted like marinara sauce, which was good, but that's what it tasted like, was marinara sauce, which,
Mario is Italian.
That's true, but like, to call it tomato soup, I don't know. It's really just heated up marinara sauce, which is, again, it's good. And then we got, after we went through our bands and got enough keys to access this other place, we got to get some photos from up top and try out some other games up top that were like augmented reality, like on a screen. They put something on the screen, you could interact with it, and that was really, really fun. And also, there are Pikmin in Nintendo World. You may not know that, but there are Pikmin that are in Nintendo World, and you have to find them. And I'll say that you have to go up top to actually see them. So they made their way into Nintendo World. I also, I got the little thing on top of my burger, kept that, of course. Got also, this is for free. If you go to Nintendo World, you can get a pin. This is the first anniversary pin that they were able to give you from Hollywood Studios there. Of course, got my shirt. Also got a mug. So I got a Super Nintendo World mug. Has the designs on the side. So that's really fun. Also got the gold Mario band. So I will say, if you don't want to collect these, it's almost not worth it. It's fun, but it's expensive for it's mainly designed for kids to punch the bricks and stuff like that. However, when you do see 3 of the characters, which is that's all you can do. I saw Peach, Toad, and Mario and Luigi together. You get these keys that unlock in your app, and then that allows you to go to the other room. That you can only do that if you've accomplished that first, and then that's where it takes you to go up top. And they have some other stuff up there, but that's where that other game is that you can punch the brick and play that interactive game up top, which is really fun. And then also the soup is worth getting because it comes in a bowl that you get to keep. And so you get the question mark block box, and then you get to keep the bowl. And
oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, so it's worth getting the soup. It's like the cheapest thing on the menu as well, but it is worth getting it to get the super mushroom. And then of course, just because I'm weird, I also had to keep the bags and stuff like that too. So there's one of the bags, and then this other one's pretty plain. I think this is the one that I got my t-shirt in or whatever, but it's just a plain white bag. So yeah, that's all my stuff from Nintendo World. And then after I got back, the Play Nintendo tour came through Denver, and so I got to go to the Play Nintendo tour as well. And so I took a couple photos while I was there. It was just in the local mall, and so that has the games and everything. This is set up in the food court of the mall that was by us. So a bunch of games that I pretty much had played already and everything, but I got to scan my Nintendo stuff and got some extra platinum points and all that sort of thing. So this is basically just it was very well attended, and it was cool to kind of walk around and see everything. But I also picked up while I was there, they gave me a cinch bag. So I got this, and it says My Nintendo in the back as well. And then inside I got they have just like a passport thing. You're supposed to get stickers as you go around. I only got one of them. And then I got a Luigi cardboard hat, so I could be Luigi if I wanted to, because they had Luigi's Mansion there too. So yeah, that's show and tell with Steve on this episode of the podcast. If you have not watched the video version, this is reasons why you should watch the video version instead of just the audio version. But yeah, that's what I've been up to over the last couple of weeks. Not playing a ton of games, but actually getting to experience a lot of Nintendo stuff. So what did I miss in the chat? I'm sure things were happening that I missed because I was like showing off all these pictures and mugs and stuff like that.
Jesse came in, and he's been enjoying Animal Crossing New Horizons again. So playing through that, and they've been talking about, Jesse and Jakes are talking about the amiibo bands and how they're fun to collect.
Yeah,
there are Donkey Kong and Diddy ones coming that they're like, oh great, 2 more that I have to buy because I had to get all of them already. I got them in the Japanese versions. They're the same thing. It's just the same band. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll get those. Yeah, I've got the gold one too when that came out. And I'm like, son of a no. Curse you.
Yeah. Is there a silver one yet too?
I'm sure there will be eventually. And then I will say Hollywood Studio or not Hollywood Studios, Universal Hollywood is smaller. So all they have there is Mario Kart. They don't have the Yoshi ride, and they definitely don't have Donkey Kong yet because that's only actually, is it done in Japan yet? Has it opened yet?
I think it's still working on in Japan. Still working. And it's going to Universal and Florida. And
then in Florida, yeah. So the Nintendo world in Hollywood is a lot smaller than Japan, and it's going to be a whole lot smaller than what Florida is when they finally get done building what they're building now. So that just a heads up, and it's worth going in the extra. So we paid a little bit extra to get early hours into the park, and specifically in Nintendo World, and we got to jump right in line for a Mario Kart right at the very beginning. It did break down while we were waiting in line at the very beginning of the day, which is great. But we just waited it
I
out, and
paid
it was
extra
like
for this.
10, 15 minutes, and it was ready to go. Maybe not even that. So we didn't have to wait very long. And we were one of the very first people on the ride. We got to experience all the Nintendo world and do a bunch of stuff, see everything. All the kids that were with us did everything. And we were done basically by noon. So you can spend half your day at Nintendo World and then go spend the rest of your day at doing other stuff. We went to Harry Potter stuff because my wife's a huge Harry Potter fan. So went to the Wizarding World after that, which is also smaller. Like Universal Studios in Hollywood is very similar to Disney in Anaheim as well. It's just a lot smaller than what they have in Florida. So more of just a heads up as you're thinking about going there. It's going to be really easy to bang it out in like a half a day because it's a lot smaller. But yeah, let us know if there's any other questions you guys have. You can toss them in the chat or the comments afterwards, or talk to me over on our Discord. I'd love to talk more of Nintendo World. But let's move past all of that because we've got a lot of news to cover in this episode, and we're going to kick it off with some of the headlines. So, Greg, let us know what's going on.
All right, so we've had some news outlets reach out to the Palworld devs to see if like Nintendo has tried to lodge any complaints or take any legal action due to the similarities between Pokemon and the characters within Palworld. So the dev says they still have not yet heard anything from Nintendo, despite a lot of the comparisons being drawn between the two. So they're just kind of continuing to move as is, despite not having any action taken against them. So that was kind of an interesting little nugget there.
And a couple years ago, Sakurai, after finishing Smash Ultimate, opened up a YouTube channel where he's been posting a lot of behind the scenes and developer diaries, and it's been a great watch. He did announce back in January that he would be quitting YouTube sometime in 2024. Well, now he has let us know that he has actually filmed the final episode. It has not aired yet. There's still a while before that airs, but the final one has actually been filmed. So there's now speculation. Is he ending this so that he could focus on the next Smash Brothers for Switch 2? We don't know, but it's sad that he's ending. He's done a great job, but you can check out all his videos on his YouTube channel right now.
Nice. And Barry, you talked about buying a game and then going on sale. Well, guess what I just bought this week? Atari 50 on sale. And then they announced that they're going to be adding 39 more games and another pack altogether. They're going to be having a huge retrospective available on October 25th. They're a huge additional release so that you can get a steel box and a steelbook and all these art cards and miniature arcade marquee signs and an AI Alcorn replica business card and all these different things that's coming to Atari 50. If you do have the original game, like I do now, you will be able to get these additional games via paid DLC, though.
So on the Capcom Next Summer Showcase was just announced to be taking place, or maybe it already passed, but there was nothing actually revealed for the Switch. So that's kind of interesting that there's nothing currently coming out for Switch and as the end of its life cycle there.
And speaking of the end of one Switch life cycle, the Switch 2 is coming out, and people have been wondering about scalpers. That's always a big question when you're dealing with, any new system or anything that's hot. And speaking with investors, the Nintendo president, Furukawa, said some things. They said, as a countermeasure against resale, we believe that the most important thing is to produce a significant number to meet customer demands, and this idea has not changed since last year. In addition, we are considering whether there are any other measures that can be taken to the extent allowed by laws and regulations, taking into account the circumstances of each region. Although we were unable to produce sufficient quantities of the Switch hardware last year and the year before due to the shortage of semiconductor components, this situation has now been resolved. At this time, we do not believe that the shortage of components will have a significant impact on the production of the successor model. So, if you're worried about scalpers, Nintendo has been preparing, and you might not have to worry at all.
Mm. And in a surprise thing, the Treehouse showed up today, and they dropped a video of them playing the Nintendo World Championships NES edition. It's about a 30-minute video, and they go through all the basics of the game. So if you've been curious about what the game really is, how you actually play it, they played through all the different modes and showed it off. There's the World Championships mode, the speedrun mode, and survival mode, and also a multiplayer mode as well. And you can check that out on Nintendo's YouTube channel and get ready for the game to release in just a few short days. So, yeah, Greg, anything big stand out from any of these headlines to you?
Yeah, I was just kind of surprised that Sakurai is already doing his last video, but I mean, I did see like other sites do the coverage of it. It just kind of makes sense for it to not be going on forever, and it wasn't intended to be like basically like a standard like YouTube channel like others that just constantly upload content. So I guess all good things do have to come to an end at some point, right? So there's that part of it. The Palworld thing is still kind of surprising. I would have thought that Nintendo might have already tried to strike them, but apparently they didn't do that yet. So who knows if they'll even be doing that eventually. Atari's thing is pretty cool. That having more DLC is always great to have additional content added to games. Kind of stinks at the extra cost, but that's just makes it more valuable, I guess, or more things to get it for. And yeah, I know at least for like the preparing for the next system has always been one of their hardest things. I mean, the Switch, I think even at the initial launch, it had sold out pretty good, but then at least within like a month or so, I think you were able to still like walk into like a Best Buy and get a Switch console.
More than a month. There was like double the Breath of the Wild sold because people couldn't get the Switch, and they just bought Breath of the Wild waiting.
Yep, I do. I was gonna just to say that the tail end of that, like I know Breath of the Wild was outselling the system for a while for a short time, but yeah, that was kind of fun there. And then it's always random to see Treehouse pop up a new video, so I didn't check that out, and probably will be on my list to check out over the coming weeks here.
Yeah, I think they kind of felt like it's still E3 time, so we're gonna release a Treehouse Live video just a little later, but we're gonna release that, which is kind of nice. They're not bound to that time. Jakester says he doesn't think anything with Nintendo and Palworld will move. So there's no stopping it now, apparently. I don't know. Barry, what do you think about these headlines?
Yeah, I would expect if something was going to happen with Palworld, it would have happened by now. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if Palworld hits the Switch too. That just wouldn't surprise me. Sakurai, that man needs to rest. But if he's going to be, if this is what he's been doing on his rest, and he's planning to work on the Smash 6, more power to him. I'm there for it. As for Atari 50, what a great collection. I know they added games since the original physical, and when they actually took away one of the games, and then like in the holidays when they added 12 games, they re-added the game they took away, which is weird. But it sucks, as a physical collector, because that stuff wasn't, all like the added games weren't on the cart anymore. So I'm really happy that they're doing this. They're adding new games. They're putting it all there. And what's cool is a very good friend of mine, someone who I actually did an industry talk with, Leonard Herman, is on there in one of the documentaries. He was interviewed for it, which is really cool to see that and be like, hey, cool, my friend is in the video game. Is really cool. So really happy for him. As for Capcom Next, the games look good. I hope there's physical, because Capcom's always hit or miss, and they do weird things like Monster Hunter Stories. In America, it's only bundled with the second game, and the second game is digital only, but that's only for the Switch, and it's the only physical in America. In Europe, only the PS4 got a physical, and it's the same thing where only the first game's on the disc. Digital 2, that's it. Japan only got the Switch physical and only the first game by itself. So Capcom's all over the place with that. But it's good to see them, still trucking along. No Mega Man though. That pisses me off. Come on, it's time for more Mega Man. As for the successor, I hate Scalpers. I think it's such a rush. The rush from a new console should be the excitement of getting it, not the frustration of will I be able to get it, or the kind of like the anxiety of will I be able to get it and will I be missing out. So to know that the shortage is pretty much done, because that all console manufacturers use the semiconductor shortage as a thing, and that they're preparing for ample supply. That's a good thing. I hope they have enough to meet the demand, which makes me excited because I don't want to miss out. I don't think anyone here wants to miss out. So more power there. And as for the Treehouse, I loved the Treehouse during E3. It was one of those things I always had in the background and really, really enjoyed. So I'm happy to see them do something with it. I just wish it was like it used to be, but this is better than nothing.
Yeah, that's true. It's fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and made me more excited for the game for sure. And it showed off more of what we're expecting. It's basically the NES remix, but like amplified a lot, and it's made for speedrunners. It's basically a speedrunner training program, if you think about it that way. Like it has you do these quick 5 to 10 second challenges in a bunch of different games, and then each game has this bigger challenge that you can complete as well. And basically, it's chaining all these things together that you've been learning all along. So how to get past, a specific, like a piranha plant, that is jumping over that. That's your challenge. And then if you get to the end of that, then you're like, okay, chain all these things together and try to beat Super Mario Brothers 1 in under 10 minutes. And that's like one of the challenges. So stuff like that is pretty cool, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it. I don't know if I'll really become a speedrunner because of it, but it does seem pretty cool. And yeah, I'm excited for Atari 50, but I'm just slightly perturbed because I just bought the physical edition. Like it seriously came in like Best Buy is like, because it was on sale, and I've been wanting it for a while. I was like, okay, I'm finally gonna get it, and then now I know what it was on sale because they were getting ready to announce this, and here I go buying it, and 3 days later they announced the expansion's coming out. So, but yeah, it's cool. And Sakurai's last video, yeah, we knew it was going to come to an end at some point. And it's just really cool that they have this huge archive of basically all his like gaming wisdom just put out there on the internet for free, that other, desiring developers can just follow his way of making games and just get like a masterclass on how to make video games from him just for free on the YouTube channel, which is awesome. Well, let's move into our main discussion, and there are 3 showcases, 3 videos that we're going to be talking about. First off is Eastasiasoft. They had a summer 24 showcase that I believe just dropped. Was it yesterday?
Yesterday,
if I get that right, yeah. And then Yacht Club Games had their presents dropped, I think, the day after we recorded our last episode. So we didn't get to talk about that one. And then, of course, the Nintendo Direct that also happened over the last couple of weeks. And so we're going to talk about all those. We're going to try to keep this going as quickly as possible, but this might be a long episode just because we got a lot to cover. But let's jump into the Eastasiasoft showcase. They showed off, I think, 12 games in this one, and pretty much all of them except for one game was announced for the Switch. And so we'll get the video version going up here on the screen. We'll just kind of run through all these games, kind of divide them in half a little bit, and then we'll discuss them. First off, we saw Tokyo Clan Pool. This is a near future Tokyo game. The government has collapsed, and you're a new prime minister who must counter the monster threat in a turn-based combat filled with lots of puzzles, all the while keeping an eye on your approval ratings, and this is going to be dropping sometime in 2024. We're also getting Tiny Pixels Volume 1, and this is the first of a huge new pixel art series. This one is 9 Blast. Sorry, that is not what it's supposed to be. That was an autocorrect. I'm blanking on the actual name of that. I'm going to have to look it up there and see. It's Ninpo Blast. But apparently Google wanted to autocorrect that to 9 Blast in my notes. This is a vertical shooting, scrolling shooter, and it'll be available on August 14th. And we also are getting Hakui. I promise I actually tried to practice this time, and it didn't help. It didn't help at all. Hakuiki, something like that. Chronicles of Wind and Blossom. This is the definitive version based on fan feedback, which is pretty cool. You can explore multiple stories across both visual novels in this game. Could be a great starting point for newcomers to the series, and it's going to be dropping on August 1st. We're also getting Bouncy Chicken. This is a single-screen, top-down puzzle game where you shoot a chicken around the stage to collect all the corn and the allowed amount of moves. It's going to be dropping in just a couple days on July 5th. And then also Road Punk Mayhem, which is a top-down vertical shooter with comic-style, cel-shaded style with 3 characters to choose from, and that's going to be available on July 17th. So talking about these games real quick, and then we'll hit the rest of them. Greg, what do you think about these set of games?
Most of them were more like a pass for me, but like the Tokyo Clan Pool does sound kind of interesting. I was just kind of disappointed there wasn't really more of like a trailer for the game. They were just doing a number of like close-ups of the characters and some of the scenery and stuff that might be present in the game. I was hoping to get an idea of more what the actual gameplay looks like, so that one will be on my radar to kind of see more about like what that one is about. But the other ones like do seem somewhat interesting, but there are like tons of games that we talked about in other showcases, and along with the other ones to cover today that are unfortunately take much higher priority than some of these other ones that were showed off here.
Yeah.
In this first segment, at least.
Yeah. Barry, how about you?
Tokyo Clan Pool looks kind of cool. Tiny Pixels, like I like that this is a series they're starting. I'm curious to see where they go, and the first one's a shmup, so it could be good. Hakuoki is a game that my wife absolutely loves. You know, we have the anime on DVD for her as well. Like, she played on the Vita, so you know, this is something that she's more interested than I about going through and playing. But I'm happy that they're bringing it to Switch and getting it off of, you know, older hardware and allowing newer hardware to play it. Bouncy Chicken looks interesting. It looks like it frustrates the hell out of me, but at the same time, it does look interesting. And Road Punk Mayhem, again, another vertical shooter. You know, it's been hit or miss with their shmups, but it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the art style of Road Punk Mayhem. We'll see what the actual gameplay is like, but I like the comic book cel shaded style. It's kind of a new look on it as well. And yeah, I think the only other one that was kind of stood out, Bouncy Chicken, and I think I'm going to check it out and see what it's like. It seems goofy. I don't think it would annoy me, but we'll see. I'll let you know on a future podcast or a review or game chat. And then moving on, we also are getting Kiki, which is a vibrant 3D platformer, and that's actually what the name of the game is, Kiki, a vibrant 3D platformer. This is a 3D first-person platformer in a cartoony world. It's going to be dropping on September 11th. And then we got Zom Farm, which is a top-down adventure where you've been hired to work on a farm where you do basic tasks, but when you collect items in the nearby woods, you encounter zombies. That's going to be dropping on September 25th. A game called Cattle. This is a black and white. It's Catty again. Another game that Google thinks I didn't spell right. Catty. It's going to be a black and white 2D precision platformer with 100 levels and an 8-bit soundtrack that's going to be dropping on August 7th. August 7th. Damikira. This is a 2D action arcade shooting platformer with heavy metal soundtrack, which will be dropping sometime in 2024. Soko Penguin. This is a chill, top-down, single-screen puzzle adventure where you control a penguin trying to reach his igloo. This poor penguin has apparently 100 igloos of his own, but each of them have increasingly difficult obstacles preventing him from getting home, and your job is to get him home. So you can do that on August 28th. And then finally, Dead of Darkness. This is a night you play in 1985 England. You're a private investigator, Miles Wyndham, and you arrive on an island to investigate the mysterious death of your daughter in a 2D top-down survival horror adventure with classic pixel art and a professional voice cast. And that's going to be dropping sometime in 2024. There's also one more game called Guards. It's a 4-player FPS, but is not coming to Switch. So, Greg, what do you think of these set of games?
The Kiki one definitely sounded somewhat interesting to me. I do like the 3D platform type games. Kind of unsure for the caddy one because of the precision involved. I'm not usually super into like the precision based like levels like some of the other platforming parts of it, but who knows, might be something I further look into. Never really know. But Soko Penguin was pretty much my big takeaway from the entire showcase. That one looked the most intriguing to me. I just kind of like the little puzzle and platforming type stuff all mixed together. Is kind of a fun time for like the little indie games.
Nice. Barry, how about you?
Yeah. So for me, I really wanted to Kiki looks good. I just don't think I could play it. Because it's first person, but it looks like a lot of fun. It looks like it's well designed. It looks like a lot of fun, but it looks like it'll make me sick. But it's very ambitious, and I love that. Zom Farm was hilarious because it was not what I was expecting. It looks good. It's just not what I was expecting, and some of the mini games like pulling ticks off of sheep, it's certainly creative. I mean, there's absolutely you can't say anything bad about that. Damakira looks like a lot of fun. 2D action shooter with the heavy metal. I like things like that. That could be right up there. Soko Penguin as well. I grew up with Sokoban. I loved Sokoban. So this looks like, again, it could be a lot of fun. And Dead of Darkness. I'm not big into survival horror, but I know, what's going on behind the scenes with that game. I know the amount of love and effort and energy that's being poured into it by the team over at Eastasiasoft and the recording of the voices and all that stuff. It's definitely one of those that I might be interested in checking out, but I'm not big into survival horror. And if you are, it's definitely, I feel, worth checking out. And Caddy precision platformer, it looks like a lot of fun. We did Love 3, Super Meat Boy. If you enjoy those kind of games, then I think it looks like up your alley, personally.
And if you don't, you will get really frustrated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Damakira, it looks great. Caddy, I think it looks great. I'm just not into these. I get frustrated, and I will just want to throw something. So to protect my controllers and my windows, I'm going to not play Caddy. And then, I'm right there with you with Kiki, Barry. I can't do that. Make that a third person game. I think I could probably enjoy it, but because it's first person and you don't see anything, I think that's the other thing. It'd be one that's you see your arms or things like that. Because it's just first person, that's it. I'm gonna throw up in that game, and I don't want to, and I'm just gonna avoid it. Also the same with you. Dead of Darkness, not usually into these games, but it looked very intriguing, and I'm interested in the game. Probably won't play it, but I'm very interested in it, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from it as well. And Soko Penguin, that poor penguin, 100 homes, can't get there. That's so sad. I will say Guards looked also really fun, yet we can't play it on Switch. Maybe to come to Switch or Switch 2 later.
Well, you know what? Eastasiasoft brought Zhuanyan 7 to Switch, and that's a much more taxing game, I feel. So I think they might be testing it like it's an easy port to PlayStation and Xbox, and if it does really well, they'll say, all right, it's worth the extra effort to port that, because it's more than just a simple click a button. Now it's running on Switch. It has to be optimized, and see, or we'll see a Switch 2 release.
That's true. It's true. So what do you guys think of Eastasiasoft in general? I was actually pleased. There wasn't a whole lot of games that were immediately appalling to me this time. So
There wasn't any.
I know. Like I was surprised, and we were talking like offline, and we're like, okay, what's the ratio of shmups to dating sims or dating puzzlers or whatever you want to call those other games? And for a while, it was like, okay, I'm kind of classifying this as that, but it's not really that. And then eventually, they just gave up and jumped fully into zombies and cats. So yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, I thought it was a good showcase. It was quick. You know, you can definitely tell they have a lot of games coming out there. They're growing as a publisher, and of course, as a publisher, they're not making all the games. Like certain games, like Tokyo Clan Pool, that was a Japanese only game, so they're actually handling the the localization, and they're the ones making it in English. They wouldn't be English without Eastasiasoft, and stuff like Dead of Darkness is one they're actually internally working with. But otherwise, it's you know, they're expanding their range of genres big time, and they do have a lot of games coming up, and they're very much supporting of Nintendo and the Switch for sure. So, you know, I'm happy to see them keep trucking.
Yep. Greg, what did you think?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything Barry was just saying. But the very final thing I liked at the very end is how they did like the summary. So then even the games they didn't show, it was like, oh, just a reminder, we have these other games that are also coming around this time frame that were shown in like previous showcases. So it was nice having like a little full like summary of like all their upcoming releases, just cataloged right there too.
That's true. Yeah, that was a good move for sure. Well, let's move on. Kind of going back in time, we've got the Yacht Club Games Presents, and they showed off a few different things, pretty much all on in the world of Shovel Knight, for sure. And so, I'm just going to run through the announcements they had, and then we'll chat about it. But they acknowledged that it's been 10 years since Shovel Knight originally launched, which we've already talked about some things that Jakester's making us feel old like he normally does. And the fact that Shovel Knight's been out for 10 years also, I think, makes us feel old. I remember being at PAX East when they were originally like showing that off and trying it out for the first time, and it was delayed and all these other things. And finally it came out and played the heck out of that game. 10 years since Shovel Knight originally launched. We've talked to Yacht Club Games on our industry talk as well. So it's an older video now, but if you want to go back and check that out, you can. But then they said that Shovel Knight Dig is getting its final DLC called Wicked Wishes. Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon gets some free DLC in a Paradox pack. The 10th anniversary celebration of Shovel Knight is occurring right now with new merch, events, and cameos. And then Mina and the Howler, this is a new game that they're working on, is coming along, they said, and is becoming more expansive and gaining more RPG elements in this game, which does sound pretty cool as they described it. And then Shovel Knight Shovel of Hope DX brings an enhanced version of the original game with 20 playable characters and online multiplayer. It is out now on the Switch as a free update if you already own Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. So this is a huge update that they're throwing in there for free. If you already own Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, it is now Shovel Knight Shovel of Hope DX, and it brings all that stuff, but you can also purchase the game now if you want to. So cool that they have 20 playable characters and online multiplayer. All this stuff is a free update to the original game. And then finally, they talked about a new mainline Shovel Knight game is in the works. There were some subtle scattered clues, apparently, that exist within the other Shovel Knight games that are out there. So if you want to go back and play some of the Shovel Knight games, you can maybe catch some of those subtle clues that are out there. So, Barry, what'd you think of the Yacht Club Games presentation?
Yeah, I'm really happy that they're still trucking along, and they're a very creative, very talented team, and they're supporting their games very, very much so. I mean, even the smaller stuff like Shovel Knight Dig, and Puzzle Dungeon and stuff, getting those updates. I mean, they really have to say like, oh, Pocket Dungeon is going to get a free update, and it's like, wow, that's great. Shovel Knight as a character, I mean, people have been clamoring for Shovel Knight to be in Smash Brothers. He finally got in as an assist. The original game was a Nintendo staple originally. It took a while before Shovel Knight went to other systems, and I'm glad to see they're getting it's getting a pretty much a free update. I don't know if it's going to get a new physical with that or not, so I'm waiting to see. It's a game I wanted to go back and replay because I played one of the worst versions. I played the 3DS version of it,
Oh yeah.
which is really hard to do with that circle pad, but I did it. So I definitely like to go back, and that's going to be the version I'm going to do. But just so much going on right now, and a new Shovel Knight. I remember Greg and I, we were talking to them. The Shovel Knight 64 is that what's happening next, or Super Shovel Knight, and who knows where they're going with it. So I'm interested to see what's next, and I'll be just watching the trailers for Mina. Mina looks like a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Mina looks like a lot of fun, so I'm excited to see what comes of that game too.
Cool. Greg, what'd you think?
Pretty much echo a lot of the same things. I was going to say Mina looks like a heck of a fun time, and the Shovel Knight's also something I was looking to potentially replay if there's ever time that allows, because I never even went through Plague Knight and like King Knight and the other ones. Like I got Treasure Trove because that was like one of the few things at the Switch launch that I was interested in getting, and hadn't really played it a whole lot because I'd already played like the entire main campaign on Wii U, but it's something that was a whole lot of fun and something I'll probably enjoy to be able to revisit again.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm with you there. Like, I played a lot. I played it on 3DS as well. I think I can't remember if I played it on Wii U. I think I may have skipped that version, but yeah, bought it on Switch when Treasure Trove came out, and so excited to check out the rest of this stuff. I mean, it's there. Like it's a free update to the game I already have, so I just gotta boot it up and check it out. But yeah, I think the thing that stood out to me, because I don't play the other Shovel Knight games, the mobile versions, and things like that. But Mina looks fantastic, and
They're on Switch too, those other
are
Shovel
they?
Knight games. They're
Oh,
on Switch.
they seem like mobile games, so I'm like, I'll skip them. But I mean, they look fun, but time. So I gotta be picky and choosy, and I've chosen to play more Pokemon Go and Clash Royale recently. But yeah, the new Shovel Knight game, this could be really, really exciting, and it'd be interesting in which direction they go with this. Like, will they continue like in the same 2D platformer action game, or they're going to go into 3D, or if they're going to really change it up altogether? All I really know is it's a mainline game, and I'm interested in what these clues could be. Like, I don't know. Have you guys seen anybody finding anything and posting them online or anything yet?
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything either.
Me either. So if you do find them, post them in our Discord. I'd love to see them and point us in the right direction. Maybe we'll cover some of them in a future podcast or a video here on our YouTube channel or something like that. Be fun to see what's out there. It's a little Easter egg hunt. So anything more to say about Yacht Club before we move on to the Nintendo Direct?
I just think it's great to see so many of these developers getting, taking the time to put together a showcase to show what they're working on, as opposed to just leaving it for Nintendo or Sony or Microsoft or whatever to put on a showcase. They're putting the ball in their court, and they're giving the message they want to give in the time. And if you're not interested in Yacht Club games, you're not going to tune in. But if you are, there's a great outlet and a good way to communicate. So I'm happy to see them doing it.
Yeah. Greg?
Yeah, I fully agree with Barry was just saying. I mean, it's great that feel like they're good enough to be able to have their own stream and everything, and that's great. And that's they can really make sure the fans are getting the information and see the stuff on their, like, what's upcoming and any other updates they are posting about. So it's really great to see it's all in like one place.
Cool. Well, let's move on to the big one. Nintendo Direct finally happened on, I believe, June 18th. I'm getting that date correctly. It's been a couple weeks because they decided to
It's the
drop
day of
it.
our last show.
Yeah, the exact same day as we predicted would happen. The exact same day our last episode went live because we had to pre-record it. But they showed off 37 games, give or take a couple, depending on how you look at some different games there. But approximately 37. And Nintendo President Furukawa said on Twitter, we're going to be holding a Nintendo Direct this June regarding the Nintendo Switch software lineup for the latter half of 2024. But please be aware that there will be no mention of the Switch successor during the presentation. We got that. And yet, we saw games for 2025. So, again, like, I don't know. Like, I was kind of holding out hope. Maybe they'll actually show some hardware there because they already went against what they'd say about 2024 games. But alas, we did not see any hardware and nothing mentioned about the Switch successor at all. So they held true to that. What was that?
They've done that for every single E3 presentation they've ever done. They've said, like, it's mostly focused on games coming out for the remainder of the year, and then they'll open up with, like, oh, here's the first game of, like, the next year, like coming in spring. Like, well, that's not this year anymore.
That
so
is not what you said.
even earlier this year, they did here's the partner direct, and then they ended with a first party title.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. So apart from Nintendo not fully telling us the truth all the time, what do you guys think in general about this Direct, Greg?
I thought it was fantastic. It really hit a lot of the stuff that I was definitely not expecting, and a lot of the stuff that I've really wanted to see on, as we'll go through to discuss each couple games individually.
Yeah. Barry, what'd you think?
Going into this, we knew this was the last full year for the Switch, and with only 2 original games, with Princess Peach and Endless Ocean, and then Nintendo World Championship, so you could say 3, and the rest of this whole first half has been nothing but remakes or ports. I expected remakes and ports for the remainder of this year, especially with a delay of the Switch 2, supposedly. And they gave us only one remake / port, and the rest were brand new original games. And we're left with just 2 months, being August and December, without a Nintendo first party title. And that is incredible for the last year compared to with 2016 or the last year for with 2012 for the Wii or God, I remember 2001 for the N64 was such a drought. I mean, it was terrible. This is just unbelievable. This is they literally watched all the other presentations and was just hold my beer. They came out swinging, and no one expected it. Everyone was expecting a short presentation, ports, a lot of third party, nothing really from Nintendo. And they came out, and the only one of those titles that they showed off that was new was something that previously announced outside of Luigi's Mansion 2 and NWC, because they were just there as more like sizzle reel in a way. But yeah, they came out and surprised the hell out of me. I will say I was hoping for some Xenoblade, but I can forgive them because the rest of this showcase was just so good.
Yeah. Definitely wasn't expecting what I saw at all. And yeah, I mean, not everything is for me, but man, that was a surprisingly good showing for potentially one of your last directs for the current Nintendo Switch. And yeah, going from I don't know how they're gonna pull this off and be able to continue out 2024, and then they're like, oh, nah, I think they're gonna be able to do it pretty well.
Well, when they said they wanted to sell 13 million units this fiscal year, I was thinking, how are they planning on doing this? And with the whole rumors of the Switch 2 being delayed, which now it definitely seems like it's coming out 2025. Like
Yeah.
I don't think it's a shadow of a doubt at this point. I was like, how are they going to do this? And the one thing I was expecting, and I would have bet money, was finally getting the Zelda Wii U ports of Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. Like, all right, we've had this sitting here. Let's throw this in here. People will be happy. It'll fill this void. And we didn't get it. They're still sitting on those, and Metroid Prime 2 and 3 as well. Or they're just sitting on those for a rainy day, I guess.
Yep. Let's oh, Greg, did you have something?
I was just gonna say it's probably watch it to be like the December Shadow Drops or something, or like January.
It should be, or August Shadow Drop.
Really good.
That's fine. I truly think that when the Switch 2 comes out, that the Switch's life is going to be mainly any game that was already in development, and it's going to be cross-platform. Or it's going to be just ports and remakes that could play on the Switch and enhance with the Switch too. Because we saw that with the 3DS after the Switch launched. We saw the same thing. And even 3DS games like Sushi Striker and Captain Toad came to the Switch. But the last year was WarioWare Gold and the 2 Mario and Luigi games and Luigi's Mansion. And it was all safe. We're doing this to keep those people happy. And I see them doing that with the Switch going forward. So maybe that's what they're saving Wind Waker and stuff for.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, let's jump into all these announcements that were brought to us in the Nintendo Direct. We're going to, as we do normally, split these up into like 5 or 6 different games at a time. So the very first game they showed off was Mario and Luigi Brothership. This is going to be available on November 7th, 2024. The brothers are back for a brand new entry in the Mario and Luigi series, where they set sail on a ship-shaped island, and they navigate the vast world of Concordia. So that's, again, going to be available on November 7th of this year. And then we get to see Nintendo World Championships NES Edition, which is going to be available in just a few short days on July 18th. We talked about that already on this episode, but over 150 speedrunning challenges from 13 NES games on this cartridge and the digital version as well. Then we also saw Fairy Tail 2. This you can experience a dramatic retelling of the Alvarez Empire arc, the final chapter of the beloved fairy tale story, and it's going to be available in winter this year, so 2024, 2025, sometime in the winter. And then also Fantasian Neo Dimension. This is the father of the Final Fantasy series, Hironobu Sakuji. I promise I practiced, and I'm still butchering these. Apologize.
Sakuji would be so upset with you.
That I know he's going to be. He's going to slap me one day when he meets me. And the renowned composer Nobuo Uematsu returned to deliver. Oh man. God. Barry's gonna smack me when he sees me in person too. But anyhow, these guys, here. They are royalty. I can't pronounce their names, but they are royalty. They're returning to provide an original RPG experience. That's going to be dropping sometime in holiday 2024. And then finally, Nintendo Switch Sports. So if there's any fans of Nintendo Switch Sports, people that are still playing that game, you're going to be able to get a free basketball update sometime in the summer this year. Use motion controls to sink baskets in a 3-point challenge, or play with up to 3 friends in a 5-streak battle or a 3-point contest. And also you can compete in 2v2 matches locally or online in Nintendo Switch Sports basketball. So, Greg, what'd you think of these first set of games?
Probably, unfortunately, like the weakest set of this entire showcase, at least for me personally. But the Mario and Luigi Brothership has definitely got me the most excited. I absolutely love the series, like on Game Boy Advance and throughout its entries on DS and 3DS and everything. So I'm really excited to finally see a new entry. And I knew, like, pretty much with Alpha Dream going under, people were uncertain with if the series would go back. And I think there was already something confirmed that some of the developers that worked on the series are actually working on this upcoming one as well too. Like they had to the new developer or whatever, so they'll still be a part of it. So that was good to see there too. But yeah, the that RPG series from like the makers of Final Fantasy sounds pretty intriguing to me as well, because I do like the RPGs, and even like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest kind of stuff is always really interesting. So I'll have to see more about that one. But those were the main two takeaways in the first segment, outside of like the championships that I've already pre-ordered thing to pick up.
Cool. Barry, how about you?
Yeah, to see Mario and Luigi come back. I mean, Mario RPG lovers are eating good right now. Within a year, we had Mario RPG Remake, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door Remake, and now Mario and Luigi Brothership. How awesome! Like, what a great series. If you haven't played them before, you can play the first one on the NSO GBA app. Just phenomenal. So I'm happy to see the series is not dead. NWC, like we've talked about already, I'm super excited about. And Fantasian Neo Dimension was, I believe, trapped on Apple Arcade, and people were really upset about that because it was an Apple Arcade exclusive, and now it's finally getting off of there. It came out a couple of years ago, I think, and finally getting to other consoles, including the Switch and a physical. So it's great to see this not be lost to the ether of digital only in the Apple Arcade platform. Like those are obviously the biggest ones. Switch Sports, I haven't played in forever, but it's great that they're doing something. But that means I have to buy another physical whenever it comes out with Switch with a basketball on the cart. Maybe that's their August. They're going to count that as their August release. I don't know. And Fairy Tail too. I've never watched the anime, but I know there's a big audience for it. So
Yeah. I'm right there with you guys. I've never played the Mario and Luigi games, but they look fantastic. I love the art style on this because it actually like captured. I know. But think about it. You'll realize you're not really surprised. And
you would
simple. These are like laid back, like simple RPGs. These are not like 1,000 hours Final Fantasy RPGs. This is like 20 hours like Super Mario RPG or Paper Mario,
which I've also not played. But I do like the art style that they've gone. We've talked about this. Don't act like it's the first time you've heard it.
I know. It upsets me every time I hear it.
Anyway, the art style of this game looks fantastic. They've actually like captured what the logo, like the characters look like in the actual logo, and it looks really cool. NWC have already pre-purchased the deluxe edition and everything, even though it's not that great. I had to get it. And I'm glad you brought up the Apple Arcade stuff for Fantasian, because I kept thinking the whole time, I've seen this game, I've heard of this game. Why? I don't know where it's from, but that was awesome because like it all flooded back in my memory. Yes, it was on Apple Arcade. Nintendo Switch Sports. Yay. I'm so excited that someone is maybe excited about playing basketball on it. Like, yeah.
It's a surprise though. I figured golf would, I figured it didn't do as well as they wanted to, so they quit for ideas of making more sports.
I thought they were just done. Are they these like Neo Miis that don't look as good? And then, they keep adding to it, which is weird. I'm like, okay, I think I could probably find better use of your time, Nintendo, but okay, maybe you get the C team on this one. But anyway, so we got also this next set of games we're going to run through is Mio Memories in Orbit. You play as Mio, a nimble android with extraordinary abilities who awakens in the vessel was a gigantic derelict spaceship teeming with lush vegetation and machine gone rogue. And it's going to be like exploring all of what's going on. That's going to be available, this one, in 2025. So one of those rogue 2025 games that snuck in there. Also, Disney Illusion Island, The Mystery in Moneth is a free update that is going to be available for Disney Illusion Island. And that dropped that day on June 18th. So you can check out that free update to Disney Illusion Island. Also getting Hello Kitty Island Adventure. This is where you're going to embark in a cozy adventure with Hello Kitty and friends. And basically looks like Animal Crossing with Hello Kitty. And that's in 2025. and Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports, because if Nintendo Sports wasn't enough, you're now going to be able to play Looney Tune characters, and it looks so much better than Nintendo Sports, and that's going to be dropping sometime this fall in 2024. Also, Among Us is getting a free update with a new crewmate and imposter roles on June 18th, and for Magia is going to be dropping on November 1st of 2024. And the creator of Fairy Tale and Rave Master is teaming up with Marvelous to present a brand new adventure full of frantic monster combat and farming, of course, because we have to incorporate farming in almost every game we can nowadays. So, Greg, what do you think of this set of games?
Well, I probably misspoke when I said in the first section was probably the lesser highlight. This probably is the takes the cake on this one, because I think it's mostly just the Disney Illusion Island update seems somewhat interesting, because I already had 100% of the game, so I may go back and check out the free update just to kind of see what kind of detective action you can do there. And I still play like Among Us with my daughter here and there, so like that update she'll be checking out eventually as well too, once that launch, or that's already out as well too. So
Yep.
It'll probably be something we'll be checking out the next time we load up the game.
Or-
So those are the main two takeaways there. But the Looney Tune ones, it sounds kind of interesting. I have no idea how well it will be, because typically a lot of these don't end up being like much fun at all, though.
Yeah. Basically, looks like they just needed to add Michael Jordan in there as well.
Yeah, Space Jam.
Space Jam. Yep.
But don't you mean LeBron James? He was
No.
in Space Jam.
No, don't you dare. I'm going to smack you for that.
Don Cheadle. Add Don Cheadle.
Yeah. Barry, what do you think of these
You guys
games?
see that a slap battle here.
Mio looked fantastic. Looks like a great Metroidvania. Came out of nowhere, so I'm really excited for that one to see how it is. And for Magia, we talked about this with the Marvelous showcase, and we didn't really see what the game was
Mhm.
about other than farming an RPG. Now, it seems almost like Pikmin in a sense.
Mhm.
Like a real-time strategy, like you grow, but we were thinking like farming, like growing crops, but you're growing the monsters, which is honestly refreshing and really neat. And it has like a little bit like a monster rancher, kind of like training your monsters up. So depending on how this plays, this could be a lot of fun. So I'm going to be cautiously optimistic following it. And Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports honestly looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I can see myself playing that with my son as he gets a little older, after showing him some Looney Tunes stuff, and obviously the movie Space Jam and stuff. That could be one we come back to.
Yeah.
With Michael Jordan, I hope.
Yes, the original, the only one. The only one.
Now, to be fair, the second one is good for watch for a laughs and just for the cameos. The cameos, I think the cameos are worth it, because you can see like the characters from like Clockwork Orange and stuff, and just randomly there. Like,
Weird.
who remembers? It's like the kids really interested in those characters.
No, they're not. Anyway, yeah, I'm with you, Greg. Like, I think this section was like, okay. Like, Mio looks fun, and I'm interested in learning more. For Magia, I know it's different, but I also it's more farming. But it does look like Pikmin. I'd rather play Pikmin. So Looney Tunes is actually the one that stood out to me from this group as well. Moving on, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD is going to be coming January 16th of 2025. So we said, wait on this one. That was a little longer than I was expecting. I was surprised to hear that far out. Even though it's like 7 months from now, it still was. I thought this game was probably almost done. It's just a remake. But then also Dragon Quest 3. We're getting the HD 2D remake of that game on November 14th. And then they surprised us by also saying that Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake will also be being made, and they're going to be dropping sometime in 2025. And then also Funko Fusion So you're going to be experiencing your favorite franchises from across TV, film, and comics, and the Funko versions of them. That's going to be dropping on Switch on September 13th, 2024. Barry, what'd you think of this set of games?
Fantastic. Dragon Quest 3 looks great. There was always that fear that it was going to be canceled when Square said they were canceling some projects, and we haven't heard about it for a while. But to see it back in full glory, I mean, what a great Dragon Quest game, and to see it just remade like this, it looks gorgeous. And then 1 and 2 is getting the same treatment. It just makes me want 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to get on the Switch, and 10 to finally come to America, because 1, 2, and 3 ironically are already available on the Switch, the mobile versions. But it's still fantastic to see this. So I'm super excited for these. I hope they sell well. I hope they continue this trend and remake all the other games. Give Dragon Quest the love they deserve. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD is what I wanted to be bundled with Tropical Freeze. Back then I said it should have been bundled. I'm just happy it's coming now. I'm glad they're actually acknowledging, like, making it a definitive version by including the 3DS levels, because that was the version I played both, but that was the version I beat, because I was like, well, this has more levels, let me do it. And a lot of people were complaining about the Wii because of the waggle, where you had to like shake to pound.
Yeah.
Now this is like the best of both worlds. You're getting HD, you're getting, the best control, no motion control, hopefully, or at least no forced motion, maybe as an option. But then you're getting the 3DS levels. So I'm happy to see it. This again falls into the line with the ports. I don't mind the January. I think it could have been December, but I guess they figured start of the new year, fine. It's not that big of a deal because it is an older game. And Funko Fusion is just a fever dream of someone who had way too much time. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely terrible, and they're banking on the brands to sell the game.
Yeah, for sure. It just crossed my mind that maybe they're holding off on, possibly Donkey Kong to celebrate the opening of Donkey Kong Country in Super Nintendo World as well.
And the Tikis are a part of that, so.
Yeah. Greg, what'd you think of this set of games?
The set was definitely very solid. Most excited for the Dragon Quest 3 and 1+2, the HD remakes. Pretty much, I think I just this last episode, I just said I played through the Switch versions for all 3 of them. So definitely very pumped to see how they'll be doing like the full treatment later on this year, at least for the third entry, which is the first one in the story. So as with Barry, I really hope they go on with like 4, 5, 6, like in 7, 8, and 9, because those are also very awesome games. And really what got me into RPGs in general was the Dragon Quest series, like on NES. So I have those to thank for that. I didn't really dive into Final Fantasy until Super Nintendo, so even though those are very similar. But yeah, Donkey Kong HD, looks pretty nice, and I don't know if I'll end up getting it unless I'm looking for something to play, but there's definitely lots of other games coming out, like with the Dragon Quest 3 and other stuff coming out like just a few months before that, so probably not, but at least it'll probably be there if I feel like I need some challenging Donkey Kong levels and stuff, and still waiting to go back into Tropical Freeze at some point.
That's a difficult game. Made even more difficult when you play 2 players, which is not the way to play a Donkey Kong Country game at all. If you want to have a fun,
and you know what?
Don't play 2 players.
Funky Kong mode was great for Tropical Freeze, but there's none in this one, which is weird. I expected new funky mode. Just put it back there in the corner.
Yeah, it's going back to classic difficulty.
Yep, I did pretty much beat like all the original levels, like in the 3DS or whatever, with all the bonus levels on it. So I didn't get every single puzzle piece because that was certainly a grind to try to find a number of them. I did get a huge chunk of them, but I wasn't trying to 100% those by any sense of it. But hopefully there'll be a way to find those a little bit easier in this remake too.
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I think this set of games was fantastic until Funko Fusion. I'm sure it'll be great. Maybe for some people. I mean, just the fact that you have Jurassic World and Back to the Future and Shaun of the Dead and Chucky and Battlestar Galactica and like all these different franchises together. It just seems so goofy and everything. So I'm sure some people are going to enjoy it. But I'd
Lego
rather spend.
Dimensions.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna spend more time with Donkey Kong, and Dragon Quest looks fantastic. I love what they're doing with these HD 2D remakes, and also hoping, like you guys said, that they continue making the rest of them as well. So moving on to this next section of games, we got Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, which we already know is coming out. That dropped on June 27th. We've already talked about that. Barry's been playing it. And then the new Dempa Men. So you're going to scour radio waves for the Dempa Men, which are small creatures that call these invisible signals their home. This is a free-to-play RPG. And I believe there was the Dempa Men on 3DS or 2DS or something like that before. This is the new Dempa Men. So it's going to be available on July 22nd of this year. So you don't have to wait very long. We're also getting Metal Slug Attack Reloaded on June 18th. This is a Metal Slug tower defense game with beginner-friendly controls. And the signature 2D pixel look again on June 18th for that one. And then Darkest Dungeon 2. This is where you form a party, board your stagecoach, and set off across the decaying landscape on a last gasp quest to avert an apocalypse in this roguelike road trip from the damned. And this is dropping on July 15th, so just a few days away. Barry, what'd you think of this set of 5 games?
I mean, Luigi's Mansion 2 I'm playing right now, and it's a lot of fun and better than the 3DS version. Having more fun with it, and that's probably due to the control, even though the control is still a little messed up. New Dempa Man looks weird. Not for me. Metal Slug Attack. I like the Metal Slug series, but this one just kind of feels weird. And Darkest Dungeon 2. I heard good things about the first one. I know a lot of people are excited for the second one. It's maybe something I'll see down the line, but it's nothing I have to play right away.
Okay. Greg, how about you?
Yeah, pretty much some of the same as what Barry was saying. I haven't got Luigi's Mansion 2 yet, though, and might be on just a general pickup list. I don't know if I'll hit it throughout the Switch's life cycle. Might just have it. The new Dempa Men kind of looks like a combination of like that that that
Kamidachi
RPG
Life?
game that was
Or
no,
Metopia.
it was Miitopia and like Animal Crossing, because it's like you get to like design stuff and build towns, but you're also doing like the Miitopia type style, like simplistic RPG stuff. So I don't know. Usually the free to play stuff kind of scares me, just because it's like, it's like, oh, if you want to do this, you have to buy this pass that's $10, and then, oh, you want to do this, make this a little bit easier and less grindy, you have to buy this for $50, and like I don't like that kind of style play, but I may check it out since it's free at least. But yeah, that was at least the main one I took away. The Darkest Dungeon's probably not for me, and same with the Metal Slug as well.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Luigi's Mansion is definitely the one that stands out. I don't know if I'll get it, but definitely that stand out for sure. And Barry, I laughed when you said new Dempa Men looks weird. Yeah, I agree. Looks weird. And
Looks weird.
I'm not typically like a tower defense game, but like I played Clash Royale quite often. So I don't know if I'll get into this Metal Slug game or not. Same with you guys
Play the
on
original
Darkest
Metal
Dungeon.
Slug games.
Yeah, the original, like the 2D
great.
shooters. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're great.
fantastic.
I just don't know if I'll play that, but I don't know. I'm like, would I get behind a tower defense version of that? I don't know. Like, but I'm interested. I'll look from afar and make my decision later. And quickly, I'm going to go to the chat because I think I've been missing some thoughts there. Jakester said Formagia looks cool. And then Donkey Kong Country should have been an October game. And then also he's hyped for Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3. And then mentioned, as we talked about Lego Dimensions, at least Lego Dimensions had a cool story to back it up, and that is also true. So we'll see how what the story is like in the Funko game. It could be good, maybe. I don't know, but moving on to the next section, we're getting some expansion pass games coming to the Nintendo Game Boy Advance and the 64 Mature line. We're getting Zelda: A Link to the Past, Four Swords coming to the Game Boy Advance on Nintendo Switch Online, and also Metroid Zero Mission, which is a remake of the original Metroid game. Both those coming to the GBA app, and also we're finally getting that mature 17 plus version of the Nintendo 64, and we're getting two games: Turok Dinosaur Hunter and also Perfect Dark is coming to the N64 Mature. All of these games dropped on June 18th, so that day of the Nintendo Direct. So Zelda: Link to the Past, Four Swords, Metroid Zero Mission, Turok Dinosaur Hunter, and Perfect Dark. Greg, what'd you think of these drops on the NSO?
This is probably one of my favorite drops I've done in quite some time because never played Zero Mission. I've just never got it on Game Boy Advance, and I was contemplating going through like Jakester had done to like buy the games on like Wii U and stuff before they went away, and then I missed my opportunity to get the Zero Mission on like the Wii U. So I'm glad to see that it's now on Switch and I can finally go through and Zero Mission now. Four Swords is excellent to see because I know that was locked to the 3DS. It was like a whatever 1 day or whatever 1 month download that they temporarily released on the 3DS eShop. So it's incredible that they finally brought that back for more people to be able to enjoy that. And then like Turok, I think like they released it separately or something because I thought I like downloaded like a thing of Turok like already on Switch already, and I had fun playing it. But it was still great to see them finally release the mature app. And Perfect Dark is definitely one of the main thing that really excited me most because I absolutely loved GoldenEye, and especially with the follow up with Perfect Dark. I remember playing like hundreds and hours into that with my cousin and taking out the Sims and stuff in the multiplayer mode. That was really fun to do. I just heard so there are some potential issues with some of the things with Perfect Dark. I don't know if you guys even followed that, but I guess there's some people that reporting like issues, kind of like how Ocarina of Time had some like visual display issues. There's like a mechanic in Perfect Dark that can like blur the screen, and I guess it makes like basically like you can't like even like really see anything at all, and it is worse than it's intended to be. So I don't know if there'll be a patch for that game in coming months or whatever, but yeah, definitely was really excited for all four of these games to be dropped to NSO.
Interesting. Barry, how about you?
It's a great lineup. Couple of things. One, obviously, Perfect Dark having some issues, like Greg mentioned. That's kind of a sad part. So hopefully they fix that. I have a feeling Nintendo allowed this to happen because they just showed off the trailer for the new Perfect Dark game, and it's like, oh, let's drum up some interest. Here we go. Let's try to cross promote. Turok is a weird inclusion because, like Greg mentioned, there is the remakes of Turok 1, 2, and 3 on the Switch already, and the remakes are better than the original at this point, so you might as well just play those. It's easier to control. It's got because if you never played Turok on the N64, Turok had a very weird control scheme. You moved with the C buttons and you looked with the analog stick. It was really weird. So the remake I believe it used the dual analog, so like that we're all used to now. So if you're gonna play it, play that one. But I'm glad to see it's still there. Also weird that this one says Acclaim versus the like Iggy's Wrecking Balls and Extreme G that do not say Acclaim. Also weird that the mature app only has those two games, and I've seen people say the mature app should have all the games because if you're mature already, why not just have all the games there instead of two separate apps? That would
Does
make
make sense. Yeah.
But Nintendo being Nintendo. As for the GBA, fantastic inclusions. Great to see Zero Mission and Link to the Past Four Swords. Quick correction though, Greg, what you're thinking about is Four Swords Anniversary Edition, which was a DSi exclusive thing which added new content to Four Swords, including single player. This Four Swords is only multiplayer. It is the same game, all the same levels. Anniversary Edition had more stuff that is unfortunately locked behind that edition.
Uh,
But what's cool is this version, when you do stuff, it actually unlocks things in A Link to the Past. And there is a brand new dungeon that is exclusive to this version of A Link to the Past that is unlocked. It's the Temple of the Four Swords.
Hmm.
And, it's really interesting that they did this. They went back to the Super Nintendo Classic and added new stuff. So I'm glad that this version is now, I wouldn't say preserved because technically we don't own it, but it's at least more readily accessible. But this version of Four Swords always existed on the cartridge. You could always buy it. It's the Anniversary Edition that is locked to DSiWare and can't be re-downloaded right now.
Yep. Looks in the chat. Jakester's actually thinking about playing Metroid series before a certain game comes out at some point in the future, and then also he's a big fan of Zero Mission as
Great
well.
game.
Yep. I'm echoing all what you guys said. I didn't hear about the Perfect Dark stuff though, so I'll have to look into that, see what that's all about. And I never played maybe I barely played the first Turok. I played Turok 2 a lot.
Oh yeah.
I own that game, and that was the game I played a lot. The first one, not so much, but Turok 2 was a lot of fun. Had a blast with that game.
The cerebral bore.
That Turok trilogy, was some of the biggest games I got from Blockbuster, like quite a lot of times. I just really enjoyed playing through those.
I feel like I'm the only one that really enjoyed Rage Wars. I think I played that one the most out of all of them, and it's like the forgotten N64 one.
Yeah, I forgot about it. Cool. So yeah, and I'm totally with you. Like, why? Like, I mean, maybe they don't want to update two different apps, but I'm like, yeah, the mature one should include all of them. Why do I have to boot up another app just to access a different game just because it's not rated mature?
Exactly.
But oh well. Or it could be like in like Disney Plus. This is going to totally derail this conversation, but like you can turn on like mature content on Disney Plus now, and like you can turn it on or turn it off. So just like if you have the parent controls and you want to turn it off, then those games are not accessible. But if you have it on and you want to access everything, then everything's accessible. Just do that. That seems simple enough.
You have to remember, Nintendo is like still in like 2004 internet. They haven't caught up yet.
Very true. Very true. Hopefully those job listings that we talked about on the last episode will come into fruition very soon.
And I did download the app. I don't know if there's like something with my birthday saved, but didn't even like ask like for the age gate on it. Like it just let me just download the app.
Yeah,
like,
same. Yeah, just let me boot right into the app. I did boot into
it. It's just a formality at this point. They're like, we got to say that they're 17 plus, but really, whatever. Yeah, I do think, like, I know, like, they probably what they've done, they probably haven't figured out how to make some content behind an age gate and some content not. So that game itself, the entire app is called mature. And then, so if you are on a child account, you can turn that entire app off and not make it available. And because you're on an adult account, it just assumes that you're an adult and can access it. Yeah. But anyway, we can stop analyzing Nintendo's lack of whatever they're doing and move on to the next set of games. We got Phantom Brave, The Lost Hero. You're going to set sail to save the day in this gridless, tactical, turn-based challenge from the creators of the Disgaea series. This is going to be dropping sometime in 2025. And then we're also getting Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, the arcade classics. It's coming sometime this year, and it includes X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, New Age of Heroes, and more, including the arcade version of the beat-em-up The Punisher, which I believe has never been released on consoles before. And then also Super Mario Party Jamboree. This is going to be jumping back into the Super Mario Party one because there's like kind of two different versions of Mario Party now. And this is going to be available on October 17th of this year. and lots of different maps, including a couple from the original Mario Party 1 and 2. They're going to be there. 20 playable characters go head-to-head online in a Coupathlon mode, which is kind of like your battle royale kind of games that like Fall Guys and stuff like that. Nintendo and Mario Party are kind of dipping their toe in that whole world of things now. And then we're also getting The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom on September 26th. It is now up to Zelda to be the protagonist in this game, if you don't count the CDI versions of the Zelda games. This is Zelda's first time as the protagonist, but we all count those, even though Nintendo likes to pretend they don't exist. But this is going to be coming out on September 26th. This is in the style of Link's Awakening. And so the new Link's Awakening. So they definitely went after that game style. And again, September 26th. And then alongside that, there's going to be a new Nintendo Switch Lite Hyrule Edition that is modeled after Zelda. It's a gold-colored Switch Lite. And it also is going to include a 12-month NSO plus expansion pass pack membership also with that Switch Lite. So, Greg, what'd you think of this set of games?
Definitely towards the end of the last three are much bigger to me than the first two. So never really played too many of the Marvel vs. Capcom games, so that pretty much will be a pretty easy pass. The Phantom Brave doesn't quite sound up my alley, so that also will probably be a pass there. Mario Party Jamboree sounds like it'd be a lot of fun with my daughter and my wife, so probably will be picking up that one. Really happy to see like a Mario Party 2 map return, because that's still my favorite entry in the entire series. The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, I certainly was pretty bold to make that prediction earlier this year in January, saying there would be a new 2D Zelda, but obviously I didn't specify that Zelda would be the actual protagonist this time around or anything like that. And I think I also said it was be for Switch 2, which I was thinking was going to be launching around this time that the game is. So definitely super excited for this. I'm really interested to see how you can solve a lot of the things in like different ways, kind of similar to like Tears of the Kingdom, and there's lots of different methods and stuff to solve it. And I've already watched like some of the analysis videos on like how you can the echoes and everything, so that everything is just super interesting to me, and I am very excited to see Zelda have her first time out in the spotlight.
Nice.
Unfortunately, we'll probably pass on the Switch Lite, but I don't need to have another Zelda console.
It looks so good, though. Like I don't need to buy it, but it looks so good.
Yeah.
Barry, before you jump into your thoughts, we're gonna both slap Greg for not liking Marvel vs. Capcom.
I think we need to take Greg for a ride, okay? We're going to take you for a ride. It's time you need to play Marvel vs. Capcom. Come on. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is like staple.
The best.
That's like saying you never played Super Mario Brothers, or you never played Legend of Zelda, or you like come on. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is phenomenal on every scale. If you play no other game in that collection, you need to play that game. It is so good.
Wait, Jakester says he's with Greg on this one. Man.
Jakester, no, you need to get schooled, man. We talk about Smash Brothers. This was like similar to Smash Brothers.
Yep.
And it's not like Street Fighter. It's more arcadey, 3v3. You've got what wonderful moves, and oh my god, the crossovers. It's so good. It's so good. Like and if you play it, you understand why Infinite was so bad, and it had such good potential. And you notice how Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or Ultimate 3 and Infinite are not included in this, which is kind of sad. That, like, we're forgetting about you. You don't exist. Yeah. Even though Firebrand was in 3 and Sigma was in Infinite, and I love those characters, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is just phenomenal. Hands down. What a collection. And it's getting a physical. This is the physical versions of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 are expensive. Look them up. PS2, Xbox, Dreamcast, they go for a lot of money, because that game has not been brought over. In fact, if you look at Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on the PS3, there was a physical that they put out. It was just a case with a download code in PS3. They never got a physical. That case is selling for like stupid amount of money. Just the empty case.
Yeah.
So this is a huge deal to get these games off the Dreamcast, PS2, PS3, and Xbox. Like, this is beyond huge. These are great, great fighting games, especially if you're a Marvel fan and a Capcom fan. Like, wow. Wow, these are awesome. So yeah, this is huge. This came out of nowhere. Phantom Brave is a series I never played, but I remember when Disgaea came out, and now Disgaea is up to like 7. But originally, Disgaea was like put out in the PS2, and it was just it sold out. It was a one print. It was very expensive because people wanted it. And Phantom Brave was the follow up, and that was a PS2 title that did get ported to the Wii, and it was almost like forgotten about. Like Disgaea 2 came out, and then Disgaea kept going, and Phantom Brave was like forgotten. And the first game was ported to the Switch. I think it was part of the Prinny Presents NIS Collection Volume 1, so you can play the original Phantom Brave on the Switch. So that getting a sequel, even though I'm not a strategy RPG fan, is huge in my opinion, and I'm so happy to see it. SRPG fans eating good, I swear. It's such a good time. Super Mario Party Jamboree, definitely interested. I loved Super Mario Party. I liked Super Mario Party more than Mario Party Superstars. The single player mode where you had to do all the mini games, but you had like special circumstances to do it, was fantastic. I had so much fun with that, unlocking things. The only problem with Super Mario Party was, besides you had to use the Joy-Con, which did make sense though, is that there was only 4 stages. This has more, and I feel like the Mario Party 1 and 2 stage were supposed to be DLC for Superstars, and they decided, oh, instead of that, let's just tack them onto the new game, which at least they're out. But I am looking forward to it. I do enjoy the Mario Party games, and of course Zelda. I mean, come on, absolutely. And you're right, Steve. You know, Zelda has been the protagonist in the CDI, two of the 3 CDI games, but there's also Cadence of Hyrule on the Switch.
That's true.
Where she is playable, and then of course the Hyrule Warriors games, both of them. And then if you want to count Spirit Tracks, she's kind of there. She possessing a statue. But yeah, this looks great. It looks like a lot of fun. People have been predicting the Oracle games were going to get remade, like Link's Awakening. It seems we're getting a brand new game. I'm guessing this is Dimps as well. And there's some really interesting things if you analyze the trailer. Like, both kinds of Zora are there. The Zora from Zelda 1 and A Link to the Past are there, alongside the Zora that started appearing Ocarina of Time and onwards. So I think that's really interesting how they're going to do this. When does this take place? Which part of the timeline, of course. But I look forward to and of course, as a completionist, I want all the echoes already. I'm going to be farming echoes like crazy.
Yeah. I feel like I'm giving up on trying to understand the Zelda timeline.
I believe it might be in that Fallen timeline, because I've already seen some analysis videos that the map is very similar to Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds, based on what people were saying.
It could be. Oh yeah, and the Switch Lite, I'm buying it. I don't have a Switch Lite, believe it or not. It's as a handheld. I never got a Switch Lite. It fell into the category of, when the Switch is dead and they're cheap, I'll get one. I don't play portable anyway, so why should I get it? Even though I have a Switch OLED, and my wife always makes fun of me because I don't play portably, so that OLED goes to waste. But this is absolutely, it's a Zelda one. If I'm gonna get a Switch Lite for the collection, this is gonna be the one.
I got the Pokemon one early on, and I love it. It's great, but it just sits there like the whole time. Like, I wish I could take it out. I want to take it out and play it, but I'm like, you can't swap back and forth really easily, and it's basically just a collector thing. I think I'd rather have the Zelda one than the Pokemon one. Now actually, like, traded in. I'm with you guys. Like, Phantom Brave looks cool. Excited for it. Won't be playing it, but very, very excited about the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. I don't think I ever played the original Punisher game in arcade, but it'd be cool to have that and all the other games. Very excited about that. We'll hopefully convince Greg to play it as well. And then Mario Party Jamboree looks like really, really fun. I'm interested to see how this the Coupathlon mode goes. And if it goes well, I could definitely see them turning into something like a Fall Guys Mario Party in the future. That would be like just the next version of Mario Party, is everybody playing at the same time. Legend of Zelda, like I've heard people talking like, if there wasn't a Zelda game, would this still be exciting? And some people like said, I don't think it would, but I don't know what they're talking about. Like, this game looks really fun. It's like taking the Zelda, the puzzle mechanics, and just infusing them into everything in the entire world. And like, some of the things are funny, like after you beat a character, then or like an enemy, and all of a sudden it turns into a little toy version of them, and then you can copy it. It's kind of funny. But yeah, it looks cute. It looks challenging. It looks like all the puzzle elements. Like, I'll play the crap out of this game. So yeah, I don't know what people are talking about. Let's move on, because we still got several games to talk about, and we're already getting pretty close to 2 hours at this point. And moving on, we got Just Dance 2025 edition. Yep, more dancing on your Switch. Moving on, that's coming in October 2024, by the way. And then Lego Horizon Adventures coming in holiday 2024. We've talked about this on a previous episode as well, but it's the Horizon world from Sony coming into the Lego world. And then Stray is finally coming over to the Switch in holiday 2024. This is the critically acclaimed cat game where you're playing a stray cat trying to find its way back home. Yeah, it looks like a fantastic game on other systems, and it's actually coming onto Switch. So that was a little surprising. Dropping on holiday 2024. And then Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game, is going to be dropping sometime this holiday 2024. It's a cozy life sim where you create your very own hobbit and experience the idyllic life of the Tolkien universe in Hobbiton. And as far as, I guess, the game will take you. So Just Dance, Lego Horizon, Stray, and Tales of the Shire. Greg, what'd you think of this set of games?
Definitely not as strong as the previous sets, but Just Dance will nice and easy pass one. Lego Horizon Adventures, I think, as we said in the previous, like the coverage of the other showcases, that looked somewhat interesting and might be something to check out. Stray is definitely the highlight of these four for me. That's been one that I was really hoping that would come to Switch, and finally is. And then Tales of Shire doesn't really look like a game that I would particularly enjoy, but still happy for anyone that is excited to be making their own Hobbit or whatever. So there's that.
Make your own Hobbit. Just exactly what I wanted to do.
Just add water.
There you go. It's a farming sim. Barry, what'd you think of this set of four games?
Just Dance. I always love Just Dance for nothing else but when watching people's reaction, watching them panic to mute the stream as fast as possible before copyright strikes it. It's a hilarious thing just to watch them panic. Oh my god, because they'll get copyright for that. I'm still mad that it's not even a real physical anymore. It's just a code and box. However, my wife really enjoys the series, so I'm glad to see it continuing. But it'll probably continue for the next 50 years. Stray got Game of the Year awards when it came out. It looks good. It's nothing that I'm like terribly itching to play. I do own it already on other consoles. So, and if I did want to play it, I probably would play it on another console where it would probably look better. Lego Horizon Adventures looks like we talked about. Looks a lot of fun. I'm definitely interested in playing it. Whether I played at launch or not, I don't know. But I did enjoy the first two Horizon games and VR from what I was able to play of it. So definitely interested to check that out. And I've never been a big Lord of the Rings fan, so I will pass on the growing the Hobbit game with water.
Oh man, Barry, man, we're finding out so many things about people. Not a Lord of the Rings fan. Now I can get behind this.
I enjoy. I'm just not a huge enough fan that this game speaks to me.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't played the other games. I've only watched like the first two movies. I never watched I own them, but I never watched the third
You didn't
movie.
watch the
I have
third
the
one?
Hobbit. I have the Hobbit movies. I never watched them. I just watched the old cartoon as a
You're
kid.
just in suspension. Like there's the rest of the story.
I know. I just never got around to it. There's too many other things going on.
Oh man, there's so much that you've missed out on.
Play Xenoblade.
Oh, I can watch a 2-hour, 3-hour movie a lot easier than playing a 30 or 300-hour game. Yeah, I'm with you though. Like I like Lord of the Rings. I'm not going to play this game. Stray, I was excited to see it, but it doesn't look very good. Like the version they showed off in the trailer was like nothing compared to the Xbox and the PlayStation version of this game. And I think like it almost reminded me back when like there used to be like the Wii version versus the other games. That's the comparison there. It's like drastically different. And they've done, all this with other games and stuff and made it look pretty good on the Switch. But Stray is not one of those, at least what I saw. And Lego Horizon Adventures look fantastic. We've talked about that already in Just Dance. I'll give it a take. I don't really mind. And even my family and stuff, we used to play Just Dance all the time, and we don't really play that anymore, holidays or anything either. It kind of wore out its fad, but people enjoy it. So keep popping out the games, I guess. So, and then more songs. We'll move on to our last section of games before we hit the big one at the end. And we got Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. It's going to be dropping on September 6th of this year. Stepped into the shoes of Miles Edgeworth and the esteemed persecutor, famed for his relentless pursuit of justice, and the Ace Attorney Investigators Collection. So this is a remastered collection of both Ace Attorney's games. And then also 100 year, sorry, not the 100 year. That's not right. It's the 100 line. The 100 line Last Defense Academy is a new game from the creators of Danganronpa series, and it's going to be released sometime in early 2025, and this strategic RPG game. And then finally, before we get to the big one, Romancing Saga 2 Revenge of the Seven is going to be dropping on October 24th of this year, and this is a groundbreaking non-linear RPG. Romancing Saga 2 makes its triumphant return as a full remake featuring English voiceovers, original and rearranged compositions by the composer, and a lot more packed into this game. Again, that's dropping on October 24th. So, Barry, what'd you think of these three games?
I mean, this is a great group, honestly. It's shocking to see how many Square Enix games we have the original and remakes on the Switch. You got like Trials of Mana, you have the SNES version and the remake, Dragon Quest 3 and 1 and 2, the original and remakes. Romancing Saga 2 is already the SNES version is already on the Switch and even physical, and now we're getting a remake, which I never could get into the Saga games. I really want to. I just have never been able to. I tried Scarlet or Emerald or whatever the newest one was. I tried the demo and just it didn't speak to me, but who knows, maybe this one will. Last Defense Academy, I'm not sure about the battle, but I absolutely want to try it because I love the Danganronpa series and I really enjoyed Rain Code last year. I think I love his style. I love the art. I love the twisted humor. If you've never played these games, you really should. They're fantastic, and they're on the Switch. So I'm interested in giving it a shot. Again, the combat might take me out of it, depending on how it is, but definitely worth checking out for the story. And Ace Attorney, it's a series that I love visual novels, and I've never played the Ace Attorney games. I keep hearing I should. Obviously, they're well regarded. And the big deal about this one is, again, the first game came out on the DS, but the second one we never got here in the West. So this is another case, like another code, where we're getting a game for the first time localized to the West, which is a really big deal. And now the entire Ace Attorney series is playable on the Switch entirely, which is always nice to see. And it's a big series. It's like 9 or 10 games or something like that. I shouldn't say Phoenix Wright versus Professor Layton is technically still on the 3DS, but maybe we'll see that. Come on, level 5, bring that over.
There you go.
But yeah, I think this is a good group. I know a lot of fans are happy with Ace Attorney and Saga, so I'm glad to see it.
Yeah, Greg, how about you?
Yeah, Ace Attorney's been one of those, along with Barry, that I've been really interested to get. And then I also pulled like a Steve. So like right before I left for honeymoon, I saw the Ace Attorney collection was on like a super sale for like the E3 time frame, and I picked it up for like $5 or whatever. It was marked down from like 40 or something. So I know that's an absolute steal, and I just added to the backlog to hopefully get to it at some point. So providing I get sufficient time to enjoy that one, that this one will be another one that I'll be looking into picking up as well. The 100 line, I'm kind of with Barry too. The combat looks kind of questionable, but if there's a demo or something that might help push a potential sale for me, because it does look pretty interesting and intriguing. And same thing also with the Romancing Saga 2, that does also seem possibly interesting as well. Just a demo or something would also help push that further too, to see if that's a game that I would enjoy as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never been into Ace Attorney series. It's not my thing. These other two games look fantastic. I just don't think they're not for me, but they look really good, and I'm excited that they're both coming out, but just not my thing. And then finally, we got our first look at Metroid Prime 4. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is coming sometime in 2025. And basically found the galaxy's greatest bounty hunter, Samus Aran, embarks on a new mission. That's about all we know about this game. So it looks like it fits in the Metroid Prime world. It kind of reminiscent of the first game, second game, third game a little bit. It's like you can definitely tell as you look at it. You're like, yeah, this is definitely a Metroid Prime. And we saw some stuff that you'd expect from a Metroid Prime game, but they didn't show off enough to really understand what is going on in this game, the storyline or anything like that. But we're getting it sometime in 2025, and it looks pretty good so far. So, Greg, what'd you think about Metroid Prime 4?
Definitely super excited. I was very happy to see that. Just the most disappointing thing was that it's not until next year. So I guess my prediction's still on for the simultaneous launch for both Switch and Switch 2 or Switch successor. So definitely super excited for this one, and it'll definitely be a day one purchase, and really excited to play the next Prime game.
Nice. Barry, what'd you think?
Yeah, it looks great. It's one of those where the last time I was playing the Metroid Prime games, first person games didn't do what they do to me now. So I'm hoping I can play and enjoy it, because I really enjoyed the original games, and even 3. I know 3 some people feel is the weakest, but I had a great time with 3, and even using like the motion control to like lasso onto the doors and pull them away, and I really expected after this an announcement of 2 and 3, kind of like Dragon Quest 3 had the 1 and 2 afterwards. It looks good, and from what I never played Federation Force, but apparently Federation Force did have like a hint and a tease, and this trailer continues that story, which puts Federation Force really into the canon again, even though people were like, oh, it doesn't really count, this isn't the Metroid game we wanted. But I'm glad to see that, because it's still a Metroid game, and I never did play it, but again, first person on the handheld is weird. But I kind of want to see First Hunt and Hunters and Federation Force kind of get the treatment too. Give them all like in a collection, like a Metroid Prime supplement collection. Throw in Pinball while we're at it. Let's do it.
Oh, Pinball was great.
Pinball was great.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Like, I like some of do they actually acknowledge all those games anymore, or some of them?
Well,
I
like
know,
I said, this is absolutely acknowledging Federation Force and Hunters.
That's true.
And because they're using the Hunters from Hunters and 3.
Yeah.
3 had the Hunters as well.
That's true. Yeah, it looks great. I can't remember. I think 2 is the only Metroid Prime game I did not play. and I don't really
Same.
remember why. I just skipped over it for whatever reason. And I have all 3 of them on Wii U. I think I bought the collection where they had all the trilogy and everything. It was more just to have it, and I haven't played it, but I was like, oh, I need to buy this. But yeah, I do hope that they bring all of those games over and have them playable on the Switch as well. But yeah, Metroid Prime 4 looks fantastic.
It would
And
be weird at this point because they remastered the first game, and we weird to have 1 and 4 and not at least 2 and 3.
that's true. That's true.
Very true. I did see like someone tried to like take like some of the trailer and have it like sent off to see if it was like actually running on Switch 2 hardware to see if Nintendo pulled a fast one on us. But I've also seen the argument saying that it looks very similar to like the Metroid Prime 1 remastered. So it could easily just been running on Switch, even though some people are saying it looks a lot better than what the Switch is able to handle. So
That's true.
it's kind of interesting to see the results of all of that.
Yeah. I mean, they could definitely be, it could be running on who knows what right now. And then, but yeah, it didn't look like super, super, super crisp like you would expect if it was like what we expect from the Switch 2. So, or maybe they just kind of downgraded it a little bit to kind of mask it a little bit from us. I don't know. Put a
You
little
also have to
filter
realize
on
you're
it.
watching things on YouTube.
That's also
So a
true.
YouTube video is never going to look as good as like running through HDMI on a
Also
4K
true.
plus, plus TV. So I basing graphics fully on a YouTube compressed YouTube video is silly,
Yeah.
because it's not going to be this like that. It's going to look better.
That's true. But yeah, that was Nintendo Direct, and I thought they did a pretty good job. I mean, especially sending in like this is kind of like, this is not their top tier kind of stuff, but it was still like really, really strong. What they showed, and big surprises that we thought the rest of 2024 was going to be pretty lackluster, and then they were like, nope, just wait, just wait and see what we got, and even some stuff into 2025 as we wait for the next Nintendo console. So that's exciting. So let's keep moving because we are already over 2 hours, and I don't want to make this go to 3 hours. But we'll move into talking about what we're going to be playing over the next couple weeks, and we'll have in the video version, we'll be scrolling the upcoming games thanks to Metacritic, as always. But gonna go a little more in the future this time because our next episode, like I said, we're gonna be recording live on August 13th. We're taking a little bit of a break before the next episode. So instead of just a couple weeks of games, I'll talk about the next month of games. So July 5th, we got The Legend of Heroes: Trails Through Daybreak. July 11th, we got Ace Combat 7. July 15th is Darkest Dungeon 2. July 16th is Deliver Us the Moon. July 17th is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate. And then July 18th is the Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. 25th is Disgaea 7 Complete and Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus. July 26th is One Piece Odyssey. August 1st is Star Wars Bounty Hunter. August 2nd is World of Goo 2. And August 8th is SteamWorld Heist 2 and Cat Quest 3. So just some highlights that stood out to me as I was looking over the next month of games. Barry, anything stand out to you that you're hoping to play, or anything else that maybe I overlooked?
Oh, what? It's crazy. So yeah, I'm doing Final Fantasy 14 Dawn Trail, and I'm working slowly through Luigi's Mansion 2. But like you said, July 5th, that's just in a couple days. Legend of Heroes: Trails Through Daybreak, which I've already done the prologue in the first chapter, but yeah, that's gonna sideline Luigi's Mansion for a bit because that is an absolute must play. Splintered Fate looks interesting, Turtles, but I might not do that because Nintendo World Championship comes out the next day, and then like you mentioned, Cat Quest 3 in August 8th looks fantastic and definitely a must play. And there's probably something else that you didn't say that that might not even be coming to Switch. They'll be like, oh crap, that's coming. Great. It's just it's a good time to be a gamer. I'll say that. I'm very excited. It's gonna be a good summer.
Yeah, for sure. Greg, how about you?
At least nothing additional that you had from like the list that you were scrolling, but the ones at least that stood out to me was definitely like the Nintendo World Championship, and then also the Cat Quest 3 and World of Goo 2. So like those were really high on my list to be checking out. Probably hopefully close to release time. It depends how long Thousand Year Old Door will take me through in the next few weeks here. So hopefully I can get through and enjoy that one pretty good, and then be able to move on to some other ones.
Yeah.
I did forget to mention July 25th, Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus. I played it, beat it, fantastic. If you haven't played that yet, play it. It is, if you like ease, play it. If you like action RPGs, play it. Give Falcom love. This game is really good. All of Falcom games are great. And it's a miracle that Axis is finally bringing it over. So if you've never played this and you like action RPGs, please, please, please play it. We want more of them.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited about the Ninja Turtles game. Excited to check out Star Wars Bounty Hunter, World of Goo 2 as well. I probably won't be playing Ace Combat 7 on Switch. I think I have it on Xbox, I'm pretty sure. And it will look better on Xbox. But I'm so excited that they actually were able to bring this over on Switch, and it looks really good for what I've been able to see so far. And then I think we may be actually getting this little tease. I think it's going to work out. I think we're getting review codes for Deliver Us the Moon, I think, as well. So potentially all three of us might be playing that one and doing a game chat on that one in the future as well. And we've got several games to play for game chats and stuff. So over the next couple, this next few weeks, we won't be having podcasts on a regular basis on every other Tuesday, but you should be able to still get content here on our YouTube channel, because we got lots of game reviews and game chats and stuff like that we'll be posting over the next few weeks. So there still will be content between now and August 13th. It just won't be a podcast, but we'll be playing lots of games and talking about them here on our YouTube channel. But that brings us to the end of episode 295, creeping closer and closer to episode 300. And if all the timing goes right, episode 300 will also drop on our 15th anniversary for this podcast as well. So that's pretty exciting. So, join us live back when we come back on August 13th, 2024. We'll be streaming again on YouTube and Twitch. And if you joined us on Twitter or X, and you enjoyed us being live over there, please let us know. If that's something you would enjoy us continuing to do. Looking in the chat again, just thanks so much for you guys that joined us in the chat. Jakester did say that he's going to be finishing Paper Mario 2 and start 3, and then start Octopath 2 and continue the Pikmin, sorry, not Pokemon, Pikmin Coral event, and eventually Sayakun event. I'm probably butchering that too.
Susuin, I think.
Susuin?
The water dog.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Pokemon.
And wait, he's going to be sleeping. It's a water bed. That's what it is. That's Pokemon sleep event. It's a water Pokemon. He's going to have a water bed. So enjoy that, Jakester. Let me know how it goes. I still don't understand this Pokemon sleep game at all. I don't even know how it's called a game. But it's catch Pokemon in your sleep. Count sheep, count Pokemon, something like that. I'm getting old. Get off my lawn. So I'm going to be playing some Atari. That's what I'm going to be playing over the next couple of weeks. Some of my old classic games here. I also did pick up the Pac-Man Museum Plus recently that was on sale at Best Buy. And this is, I think, one of the only places you can get the Pac-Man Battle Royale game.
Pac-Man versus.
Yeah, like no, the Battle Royale one, where you're like the same one they have at like arcades where you play like 4 players and you're
Oh
all
yeah,
playing
yeah,
at the
that
same
one.
time. I can play it at home now. I don't have to go to Dave and Buster's to play it. Uh, so that's really what I have the rest of these games. I have like multiple copies of them, but I was like, no, I want to play Battle Royale at home. So,
Also,
um,
so proud of you for buying physical copies.
hey, you would be proud. I actually organized all my my physical games on my shelves behind me the other day too. I had to like reorganize some stuff, and I have them all up there. So I'm almost completed an entire one shelf. Now it's not like your 27 shelves, but I've got almost a full shelf covered in physical Switch games. So
I know it may
um,
not seem like it, but I have a pretty good size physical collection of Switch games as well too. So
So proud of both of you. Now go play Xenoblade.
yeah, I probably won't, but
At least you played Torna.
I played about half of X. I really do want to finish that game at some point, but it's on Wii U and it's not the top of my thoughts to like fire up that Wii U. So even though it's ready to go. I just don't think to turn it on.
I really need to turn mine on before mine gets bricked.
That's true. Maybe I do
I
need to turn
turned
it
mine on a while back, like maybe a couple months, maybe 4 months or whatever, when there was that brick scare.
Yeah.
I went and turned mine on and updated, and it was like, okay, it's working, good. And turned it
Nice.
off again.
Nice. I did turn on my 3DS the other day, like for the first time in I don't know how long. Updated that and everything. I was like, oh yeah, mostly because I was trying to find which the Mario RPG game, which ones I have on Virtual Console and different things like that. And so I fired up my 3DS. Was like, which ones are here and which ones do I have in my Wii and Wii U Virtual Console? And yeah,
But you don't play the Mario RPG games.
no,
You use your Wii.
no. But if I were going to play one, I was going to find out where it is. Like I have it somewhere. I just don't know where it is. It's somewhere in a digital archive of somewhere. I don't know.
It could be on your Wii U, probably.
It probably
Does
is.
does have the GBA games on there.
Yeah, that's probably where it is. And
Or
I
it
don't
was
remember which
an
one it is
Ambassador?
either.
Was Mario
Uh,
and Luigi Ambassador a game for the
No.
3DS?
I don't. It's one of the. I don't even know. I'll report back in August. I'll see if I can find it by then, and maybe I'll play it. Maybe. So
See, if I do end up going to Super Nintendo World, I would be sure to bring my 3DS. I'd love to see how many street passes I get.
I thought about it, and I was like, I was bringing too much, and I really didn't want to carry it around. But I was really close because I had just charged it up right before I left. It was like 2 days before I left. I was like, oh, should I bring it with me? But I watched Kit and Krista, and they did one, and they didn't really get any street passes at all. So I was like, I'm gonna bring this thing with me, and it's gonna be no good. So
I would be scared to bring it because it might get damaged. So I wouldn't do
oh,
it.
speaking of damage, we're going long, but guess what happened to me at Disneyland? So I'm on the Indiana Jones ride that they have in Disneyland, and I put all my stuff in the little pouch up front, but I left my phone in my pocket, thinking it's not gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen to that. No, it goes sliding out of my pocket in the middle of the ride. And my magnetic wallet goes flying off of it. So I look down, and it's on like because it's like a Jeep that you ride in. So it's like on the step area to the left. I like reach down and grab my wallet, but my phone is nowhere to be found. And so like all day long, I'm without a phone. But I'm checking on my wife's phone to like find my iPhone thing, and I know it still exists. I can access it from the iCloud thing, and I'm trying to find it, and this is the ride that like notoriously goes down. And they're like, anytime the ride goes down, we'll go to a full walkthrough. The ride didn't go down for like hours and hours and hours. Every other ride's shutting down in the whole place. The one that I want to shut down is not shutting down, and I'm like, my phone, and I've got most things backed up, and I could replace the phone. It's just a physical thing. But all the photos that I had taken earlier that day hadn't got backed up to iCloud yet. And so they're like, I can't recreate these photos. There were me and my wife in front of the castle and things that I really, really wanted. And was just really bummed. Like my Disney gift card was saved in my account. My bus tickets to get back to the hotel were on my phone. And all this other junk. And finally, at the end of the day, after all this going back and forth and checking on things and everything, they did find it, and it walked away with like just a couple surface abrasions on it, basically just normal wear and tear on the phone. And I was so happy, but yeah.
So now I have to ask, what did you learn?
I learned don't trust brand new slick shorts and my phone in the Indiana Jones ride. No, definitely everything is going in the bag and going in the pouch, and from that point on. Yeah. And every time
Unless
I
you have zipper pockets or something.
yeah, that's also possible. So like the next day when we were over at Universal Studios and we rode a one of the Harry Potter rides, and I and there was no pouch to put it, and that's all I had was my phone. And I was like, "Oh no. What am I going to do?" So it was like down the shorts sitting on it on the thing. I'm like, this is not getting anywhere. It's going down my shorts in the back. Like, yeah. And I sat on my phone the whole time.
So, police reports say there's a man here that died on the ride. He was not holding on. Instead, he was found dead holding on to his phone in his pocket.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was quite the adventure over in California. I loved Nintendo World, but oh my gosh, Disneyland was quite interesting.
I love that Indiana Jones ride too. It was so much fun when I did it.
It's fun, yeah. This is my first time at Disneyland because I've only been to Disney World. And
Matterhorn? Did you do the Matterhorn Mountain?
We did the Matterhorn. Yep. That was fun as well. Yeah, had a blast. Yeah, Greg, you got married over the last since the last episode. We didn't even mention that at all. You got married, went on a honeymoon and everything, and you're like, oh yeah, next episode. Congratulations.
Sure did. Thanks.
Wow, Steve, way to be tactful.
I gave him an opportunity to talk about it earlier, what happened. And, that's why he hasn't played very many games. He's been honest.
Yeah, and I did like say like a blip like here and there, but I did have like my own like awesome thing with Paper Mario 64, at least on the way there. Like I did like a whole chapter over on the plane, and then like I had like the system like turned off or whatever, like an airplane mode while like in Dominican, and then like when I charged it so I'd be able to play on the way back, like my save file was like nowhere to be found. So like when I loaded up the game, it still had the save file from before I left. And I was like, well, I had all this progress, like where to go? And like it was like I definitely hit the save box like every single time you see it in the game, but like I don't know what happened. Like the cloud save wasn't able to back up or whatever because of being in airplane mode. So I wasn't quite sure what happened there. So like on the way home, I had to replay the entire chapter, and I was almost kind of like, do I really want to like push through to like playing this entire chapter again? But thankfully I flew through it, and then I even got like a second chapter done like on the ride back. So I don't know how that works, but I'll take it. And then I was able to power through the rest of it after like being back home. So
yeah. Now Jake's just giving us a hard time for not mentioning. We've mentioned it on 3 other podcasts before that he's getting married, so it's not like we forgot about it altogether. Barry, what you're going to be on another podcast coming this weekend, you said?
I was recording this weekend, yeah. It's what's funny is the podcast is one where it's called Play Along Podcast, where the host tasks the guest to play a game, and the guest tasks the host to play a game, and they can't be a game played before, and talk about it, their experiences. So I was originally tasked with playing ukulele, because I only played Impossible Lair. I didn't play the original, even though I kickstarted it and I have it. But right before I was about to start, they announced that they were remaking it. So I said to the guy, well, I want to play it, but if I'm going to play it and they just announced the remake, I might as well wait for the remake. So he said, all right, well, you like platformers, I'll play Inside. I said, okay, I'll play Inside. And of course, I tasked him with Xenoblade. And unlike you two, he actually listened and he's been enjoying the hell out of it. So we're going to have some fun talking about it this weekend. Nice. And when that goes live, I will share it out on Twitter. But yeah, I'll be doing that. Also, while you were at Super Nintendo World and Greg was getting married, I was having the first birthday for my son. His very first birthday. So I am now. I want a T-shirt that says I've actually kept a human being alive for a year, yay me, or
Yay!
something like that. So that's interesting because now he's crawling. So now gaming is a little bit difficult because now it's a new game. It's no, that's not yours, and it's a fun game because he's obsessed with the dog food bowl for the dogs and putting his hand in there and feeling the kibble. It's like no, get away from that. That's not yours. And it's he's way more expressive now, and it's fantastic, and what
That's
what a
awesome.
joy. And soon he'll be playing his own game, so I look forward to that. But yeah, that's been the big thing for me. And another big thing that we didn't talk about is a new premium direct. We're having a new
Yeah.
premium direct during the break. Finished the script. It's like 13 pages or 14 pages long. It's a big script. It's going to be a big one. A lot of work, a lot of effort, and there's still more to do. So that outside of gaming, that's been another big aspect that I've been dealing with. So a lot of good stuff to look ahead. It's going to be a fun summer, that's for sure.
Cool.
Now, did you do like a Baby Mario themed cake for him for his first birthday?
No, we did a smash cake that just said the happy birthday.
Smash Brothers cake?
It's a Smash Brothers cake. Yeah.
It wasn't Smash Brothers cake, yeah. And he didn't smash it. He artistically painted around with it.
Oh.
It was when everyone was like rub it in your hair, and he's just like, "What is wrong with you? I'm just playing with this."
Why would I do such a thing?
My God, what kind of monster are you? He was.
This is
Everyone
cake.
said like he is the most calm kid. I'm like, yeah, he is. He's amazing. No, we just had little blue cupcakes for everybody else, but it was it wasn't Mario themed. It was just he's got his whole room Mario, or half his room Mario themed. Mario and
Nice.
dinosaurs.
Nice.
And Zelda was his theme. But
Mario and Yoshi?
ironically, there's only like one Yoshi. It's real dinosaurs is the other half because it's like because I was like, well, Mario and Zelda, and my wife's like dinosaurs, and I'm like, well, I was a dinosaur kid too, so yeah.
Super Mario Brothers movie. There you go.
The original. I got the umbrella big one with all the behind the scenes stuff. I got that ready to go for him.
Nice. Cool. Well, we are already at 2.5 hours, so we should probably cut this one off. But this tends to happen, before we take a break for a little bit and after we come back from a break. So hopefully we won't go 3 hours on our next episode. But yeah, thanks for being here with us on this episode. Like we said, we're going to be back in August for our next one. Enjoy the break. Enjoy all the games that we have that we can play and the more games that are coming out really, really soon. Thanks for being here with us. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app or on YouTube. And like I said, we got game chats and reviews and stuff like that coming your way over the next few weeks. So our YouTube channel will not be void. It just be missing a podcast for a few weeks, but we'll have some other videos that are going to be up there. So be sure to subscribe and share it with others. And yeah, thanks again for being here for this episode. We'll talk to you in August. Until then, happy gaming, everybody.
Have a good one.
See you next time.